subscribe, like the video, and, if possible, join Patreon. But if you don't have much money, you can support the channel by watching the novels on euroaudiobooks.com. Remember that you can participate in the polls so that your favorite novel gets published for free.
Understood. I will try more. Although the night is long, Li Fan, who has always admired Medusa's smile, does not feel bored. The next day, Li Fan summoned the main actors who participated in the filming of the Fate Stay Night script. Li Fan felt that regarding the filming of the new script, these actors should also be told if those who intend to continue to participate in the show. Li Fan welcomes them to join. However, before Li Fan could start talking, Zoro approached him. Yo, Li Fan, now that the film's release has ended, shouldn't it be time for you to fulfill your promise to me? Saying that, Zoro couldn't help but clench the long knife at his waist. Seeing Zoro's action, Li Fan immediately understood his intention. Speaking of which, I did say that if you help me film the movie, I will agree to compete with you. Li Fan, do you need me to help you deal with him? Sensing Zoro's fighting spirit, Medusa asked beside Li Fan. No need. Li Fan shook his head slightly. After all, I promised him something. Also, I don't think I'm going to lose. You're really confident, Li Fan. Zoro drew out the long knife at his waist, staring at Li Fan with both eyes. I admit, you are very strong. After seeing your strength, even though I've become stronger now, I still don't think I can defeat you. However, I'm leaving soon. Before that, I want to reconfirm the gap between you and me. Chapter 29, Breathing Water. Are you leaving? Li Fan asked strangely. That's right. Zoro nodded. Although it's really good to make a movie with you, I can also see your sword skills. However, in such a stable life, I absolutely cannot become stronger. Only in real battles and fights can I become stronger and stronger. Only in this way can I surpass you, and one day, surpass the world's #1 swordsman, Hawkeye Mihawk. Hearing this, Li Fan nodded knowingly. Indeed, what you said has some truth. If you want to get stronger, fighting can be a very good way. You who want to become the #1 swordsman in the world should be more eager to become stronger. However, if you want to become stronger, there is actually more than one way to fight. Zoro frowned. Li Fan, what do you mean? Li Fan waved his hand, took a few steps forward, and came to Tashiji's side. Tashiji, can I use your knife? Okay, Li Fan. Tashiji handed the long knife in his hand to Li Fan. Although I don't think Zoro can beat you, but I'm a little excited to see your sword skills again. Really? The corners of Li Fan's mouth curled up slightly. Then you should take a good look at my swordsmanship later. In the next script, the role you will play is to master the sword technique I will use later. Hearing Li Fan's words, Tashiji's beautiful eyes widened slightly. Li Fan, you mean you're ready to make your next movie? However, I haven't promised you to participate in the movie yet. Don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't want to, it's just that I have a marine job after all. Don't rush to refuse, Tashiji. Li Fan patted Tashiji on the shoulder. If I promise you, I am willing to teach you swordsmanship. What is your answer? Hee. Don't be in a hurry to make a decision. After the competition between me and Zoro is over, you can make a decision. The other actors on the scene also heard what Li Fan said, and they all showed great interest. Hey, Director Li Fan, can you have a role of mine in your script? Karis laughed. And me, the director. Alice smiled. Director Li Fan, and me, let me also participate. That's right, just give it a small role. The movie directed by Li Fan is really great. I never thought that I could act in such a good movie. Please let me participate again. All the actors expressed their interest in participating in the new play. Li Fan waved to everyone and said with a smile, Don't worry, everyone. In fact, I called everyone here today to ask if you have any thoughts on participating in a new script. Everyone is the main actor in the last movie, and I quite approve of your acting skills. After I finish dealing with Zoro, everyone can come to me to talk about new scenes. But there's one thing I need to tell everyone. Li Fan looked at Nami and smiled slightly. Because I have something to go to Kokoja Village in the future, so it will take a few days for the official shooting of the new movie to start. No problem. Director Li Fan is such a good director. He can give us actors such a good opportunity to make high-quality movies. Let alone a few days, even a few months, we can afford to wait. Carlos laughed. The rest of the actors also kept nodding. Li Fan smiled and walked back to Zoro's side. So, shall we begin? Of course, I can't wait. Zoro opened his mouth and looked at Li Fan with a grin. System, I want to use Kelman Tanjiro template and my wife Zenitsu template. Following Li Fan's voice, the sword skills of Kamado Tanjiro and my wife Zenitsu quickly flashed in Li Fan's mind. In an instant, Li Fan realized that he had become proficient in swordsmanship against the two of them. Facing Zoro, who was rushing towards him, Li Fan drew his knife out of its sheath and quickly swung the knife to slash straight from the plane. The sharp blade sliced through Zoro's hair as if cutting through the water. Water breathing, one shape, water surface slash. Zoro, who narrowly avoided Li Fan's attack, stared wide-eyed and slashed at Li Fan's abdomen with two knives crossed in his hands. Li Fan took a step back, and Zoro's blade brushed against Li Fan's clothes. At the same time, Li Fan turned his body and swung a circular slash. Water breathing, Niza-type, water wheel. Ding! Zoro raised his two knives upwards to block Li Fan's slash from above and below. However, Li Fan's huge strength caused Zoro's body to retreat several meters away, and his feet even drew two deep marks on the ground. You guys, are you using a new sword technique? Zoro frowned and said, That's right. This is the swordsmanship I will use in my next swordsmanship. Li Fan raised the long knife in his hand and pointed at Zoro. The school of swordsmanship is called Water Breath, and there are 10 sword shapes in total. I have used 2 sword shapes just now, and the remaining 8. Are you interested in seeing them, Zoro? Yeah, do you have 8 more? I wish for it. Zoro squatted down with his feet crossed, crossing his knives. Let me take a good look at your swordsmanship. How are you doing? Go slash. As soon as the words fell, Zoro rushed towards Li Fan at an extremely fast speed. The breath of water, the shape of the 3, flowing and dancing. Li Fan's body was flowing at a high speed like a stream of water, leaving several afterimages wherever it passed. At the same time, when Li Fan crossed Zoro's body, he easily left a bloodstain on Zoro's body. Chapter 30, we are so familiar. How could we have bad thoughts? Ding, 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 the sound of gold and iron clashing one after another. The cold light burst out, and the long knives in the hands of Li Fan and Zoro turned into afterimages, constantly colliding with each other. Outside of the fight, Tashigi kept his eyes on Li Fan, observing his sword moves. That slash like a stream of water, Tashigi felt, was so suitable for her. As for Zoro, who was under Li Fan's slash, he only felt that he was no longer facing Li Fan, but the rough sea. He himself is like a flatboat in the sea. Damn it, is the gap between me and this guy so big? Even if he doesn't use Yin Fan or unlimited sword system, my blade can't even touch his body. During the battle, Zoro's body was damaged in many places, but Li Fan's clothes were not even damaged. Although Zoro knew before the battle that Li Fan was stronger than him, Zoro was still quite unconvinced when faced with such a situation. Zoro, what are you thinking? It's bad behavior to be distracted during the battle. Accompanying Li Fan's voice appeared a blade that looked like a swimming dragon. Zoro quickly raised his long knife to block Li Fan's attack. However, Li Fan's sword moves kept coming out, and Zoro could only retreat for a moment. The breath of water, the shape of 10, life and death. While spinning, Li Fan thought about Zoro's attack, and every time he rotated, the slash he swung was getting stronger. After Li Fan spun and attacked 10 times, Zoro's defense was finally pried open, and Li Fan's knife stopped next to Zoro's head. Tisk, lost again, Zoro said angrily. Don't be discouraged, Zoro. You will definitely become very strong in the future. Li Fan put the knife back into its sheath and said with a smile on his face. Zoro shook his head. Li Fan, I already understand that there is a huge gap between me and you, so I have to leave. Don't worry before making a decision. How about taking a look at my other sword skill? Hearing this, Zoro immediately showed interest. Although he knows that he cannot defeat Li Fan, as a swordsman who yearns for the strongest, Zoro has great enthusiasm for facing powerful sword skills. Seeing Zoro's interested expression, Li Fan smiled and walked to the middle of the open space. I saw him squatting down, his eyes closed tightly, holding the hilt of the sword with his right hand and posing for a slashing posture while breathing rhythmically from his mouth. Huh? What? The air around this guy is shaking. Zoro's eyes widened. The breath of thunder, the shape of one, the flash of a thunderbolt, 6 consecutive. Boom! With a bang, Li Fan's body quickly disappeared in front of everyone's eyes. Zoro's eyes widened, trying to see Li Fan's body clearly, but he could only see thunder-like afterimages in the field. In the end, the afterimage passed by a boulder, and Li Fan also stopped his own shadow. How about it, Zoro, my swordsmanship? Li Fan turned his head to look at Zoro. If you are willing to act in this movie, there is no problem in teaching you this swordsmanship. Accompanied by Li Fan's voice, the boulder beside him suddenly split in two. On the boulder, the incision was smooth, like a mirror, and this also highlighted the power and speed of Li Fan's slash. Ew. Want to teach me your sword skills? Zoro asked in surprise. That's right. Li Fan stepped up to Zoro's side. Although I believe that fighting and fighting can make a person stronger. However, if you have a good teacher, maybe you can improve faster. Don't you think the thunder breath style of swordsmanship I just performed is very suitable for you? After stopping Li Fan's words, Zoro couldn't help thinking. Okay, Li Fan, let's talk about it first. You were willing to teach me this, I didn't ask you. After a little thought, Zoro made a decision. Of course. Li Fan nodded. I will teach you swordsmanship, and you will act for me. We just reached a deal. However, since I have taught you swordsmanship, you must also play the characters in the play well. While speaking, Li Fan took out the script of Demon Slayer, Blade 1, and the character setting of My Wife Shawnee from the backpack Medusa was holding and handed them to Zoro. Study it well. Zoro, I look forward to your performance. Thinking of a scene when Zoro played My Wife Shawn, Li Fan laughed unconsciously. You guys, you seem to be faux pas. Zoro frowned. You misunderstood, Zoro. Li Fan turned around and waved at Zoro. We are so familiar. How could we have bad thoughts? You say yes, Zoro. Chapter 31, Jealous Nami. After competing with Zoro, Li Fan returned to Tashigi and returned the knife in his hand. So, Tashigi, would you like to be in this drama? I can teach you the water-breathing school of swordsmanship that I just performed. Li Fan said with a smile on his face. But, Tashigi looked at Smoker aside, hesitant. Although she would like to learn Li Fan's swordsmanship and make herself stronger, she is a Marine after all. Moreover, now that Li Fan plans to go to Kokoja Village, it is likely that he will not shoot movies in Logue Town again. This makes Tashigi, who is the Logue Town Marine, very hesitant. Go, Tashigi. Smoker said, since Li Fan intends to teach you how to learn swordsmanship, you can take it as practice. But, Colonel Smoker, haven't I been dereliction of duty? You don't have to worry about this. I will report to my superiors. Moreover, after you become stronger, you will be able to catch pirates better. For Smoker, he is worrying about what reason to let Tashigi stay with Li Fan. Now Li Fan actually said that he wanted to teach Tashigi swordsmanship, which just gave him a reason. You see, your chief also agreed. Li Fan patted Tashigi's shoulder. Why don't we come together? All right. With Smoker's support, Tashigi finally agreed to Li Fan's invitation. After all, as a swordsman, Tashigi also wants to go further along the way. After finishing Zoro and Tashigi, Li Fan looked to the other actors. Then everyone, if you want to participate in this new drama, please go back and pack your things properly. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, please gather at the coast. I bought a bigger sailboat, enough for everyone to get on board. Hearing Li Fan's words, the actors all took action and rushed to the place where they lived. Smoker, thank you so much for lending me Tashigi. Li Fan looked at Smoker beside him and smiled. Teach Tashigi well. I hope she will become stronger in the future. Smoker turned around and walked towards Marine Base. Also, come to Lowtown later. Come to me. I will treat you to dinner. After all, I made a lot of money from you. Although he doesn't care about money, Li Fan paid him a lot of money for starring in Li Fan's movie, for which Smoker is somewhat grateful. Hee. Thank you, Smoker. Li Fan waved his hand at Smoker's back. Also, don't worry about Tashigi. Maybe when you see her next time, she will already be more than you. You are even stronger. Smoker waved his hand, but didn't speak. Really, Li Fan, Colonel Smoker is Logia Demon Fruit power. How could I be his opponent? Tashiji said, you are wrong. Tashiji, your swordsmanship has improved, and you will cultivate armament hockey later. Can you give him a good lesson soon? Li Fan gave Tashiji a thumbs up. Maybe, after you can still be his boss, haha. Let's go. Since you agreed to participate in this drama, then I have to dress you up. This time, the role you want to play is the protagonist. Protagonist. Tashiji widened his eyes slightly. Li Fan, don't you play the protagonist? This time, it's enough for me to play a supporting role. Then, Li Fan, who should I play? Can you give me a role with more roles? Nami rubbed his hands and came to Li Fan with golden eyes shining. Well, for you, how about giving you a heroine? It's great. Nami almost jumped up happily. Then Li Fan, how much is the salary for playing the leading actress? Considering that the heroine Izuko Kamadu has almost no lines, so I'll give you 5 million berry. Hey, is it only 5 million? When playing the role of Tosaka Rin, it wasn't that price. After all, Rin Tosaka has a lot of lines and a lot of action scenes. In the new drama, Nezuko Zaemin doesn't have many lines. It can be said that there are only a few pitiful lines, so I think 5 million berry is enough. Li Fan shrugged and continued. If you feel that you don't want to play the heroine, I can replace it with someone else. No, I want to act. Nami quickly grabbed Li Fan's arm with a flattering expression. After all, 5 million berry is also a lot, and Nami does not want to give up this opportunity. Hey, Li Fan, since Nami is playing the heroine, who should I play? Didn't you say that I will play the leading role? Tashiji looked puzzled. That's right. You are indeed playing the leading role. However, the leading role is only male. Hey, am I playing a male? Don't be so surprised, Tashiji. Li Fan patted Tashiji's shoulder. As an actor, sometimes it's normal to mix up gender. I believe you can play well. I'll try my best. Although a little unconfident, Tashiji can only cheer for himself in order to be able to learn Li Fan's swordsmanship. Well, Li Fan, how much does Tashiji get paid for playing the leading role? Nami asked curiously. If you play the leading role, Tanjiro Kamadu, give me 10 million berry. What 10 million? Nami widened his eyes and looked at Tashiji with envy. The gaze that seemed to swallow Tashiji made Tashiji hide behind Li Fan unconsciously. Chapter 32, ready to leave Logue Town? Hey, director, don't you like Tashiji too much? They're both protagonists. Why is the male protagonist paid twice as much as the female protagonist? You do this because you like Tashiji and want to use your director's privilege to chase Tashiji. Looking at Li Fan, Nami asked suspiciously, Hey, Li Fan is chasing me? Nami's words immediately made Tashiji blush. Let me tell you, I'm afraid you've fallen into the eyes of money. Li Fan stretched out his hand and rubbed Nami's face slightly. The reason why Tashiji is paid so much is because she plays a lot of roles. Forget it. Instead of telling you so much, let you read the script. Li Fan shook his head, took 2 scripts from Medusa, and handed them to Nami and Tashiji respectively. Nami, take a good look at it. After reading it, you should know that the role played by Tashiji has a lot of roles. Also, Tashiji, come with me. I want to see what you look like after wearing Tanjiro Kamado's costume. After all, you're playing a male role. Regarding your appearance, I have to take a good look at it first. Oh, okay. Tashiji nodded and wanted to leave with Li Fan. At this time, Zoro suddenly came behind Li Fan and put his hand on Li Fan's shoulder. Hey, Li Fan, you asked me to play my wife, Shawnee. You are not kidding. Turning around, Li Fan looked at Zoro. What? Is there a problem, Zoro? What's the problem you mean? Zoro handed the script in his hand to Li Fan. How do you think I can play this role well? I like to cry and make a lot of noise, and I can't walk when I see a woman. How can I play such a role well? No problem. Li Fan patted Zoro's shoulder heavily. When you played Kojiro Sasaki, wasn't it pretty good? That's different. Sasaki Kojiro is a very good swordsman. I'd be happy to play him. But this time it's different. Zoro pointed to the script. My wife Zenitsu here is totally different from a swordsman, and his behavior. Having said that, Zoro sighed deeply, thinking that everyone will see himself playing my wife Shani in the future, especially when people who know him well see him. Zoro blushed. Don't underestimate my wife Shani. Although she is a bit timid, she shines very brightly in battle, Li Fan said. Don't refuse in a hurry, and read what is depicted in the script. Besides giving you a reward, I am also willing to teach you swordsmanship. Such good things don't happen often. Then, you're studying the script, Tashigi and I will go first. After speaking, Li Fan took Tashigi and walked toward the hotel. Medusa and Nami followed. On the other side, Smoker, out of Li Fan's sight, called Momosaji Gion. Is it Smoker? Is there any new information about Li Fan? Soon, the phone was connected, and Gion's voice reached Smoker's ears. That Li Fan guy is planning to leave Logue Town and invited Tashigi to play his new script, and he is willing to teach Tashigi swordsmanship as a condition. I made Tashigi agree to Li Fan's invitation. Now it's up to you to come. On the sea, a warship was sailing fast. In the cabin, Gion, with a pair of slender legs, stood up from his seat and looked at the scenery outside Sichuan. It's a pity. It looks like I won't be able to meet this Li Fan director in Logue Town. Smoker, do you know where Li Fan is going after leaving Logue Town? The guy said he was going to East Blue's Kokoja village, and I thought you might meet him there, Smoker said. However, since I didn't tell Tashigi about this, you need to determine the exact location of Li Fan later on. Understood. Gion nodded. I'm not far from East Blue. After that, I'll go straight to Kokoja village. I'm sure I'll see him there. Anyway, thanks for the message, Smoker. I'm just following Marshal Sengoku's orders. If you have no other questions, I'm going to hang up first. I still have work to do here, Smoker said. Gion smiled slightly, said goodbye to Smoker, put down the microphone in his hand, and walked towards the deck. Soldiers, speed up. Target, East Blue Kokoja village. We need to go full speed. Yes. Momosaji, Vice Admiral. Chapter 33, Tashigi's surprising place Logue Town. Hotel, Li Fan room. Projection, start. With Li Fan throwing magic in his hands, Kamadu Tanjiro's costume is projected by Li Fan. Come on, Tashigi, try on his costume. Li Fan stuffed the costume he had just projected into Tashigi's arms. I made the clothes looser on purpose, which should be able to slightly cover up your feminine features on your chest. Only, try to make your chest look as flat as possible with a bandage, and it should be fine. Tashigi, what's wrong with your face? Why is it so red? Hearing this, Tashigi looked up with a blushing face and looked at Li Fan, hesitating to speak. Really, Li Fan, even if you were a director, what you say is for acting, but how can you say such things to a girl? Nami patted Li Fan on the shoulder. Even if you really want to express such a meaning, you should find a woman to do it for you. Miss Medusa next to you. Isn't it quite suitable? Sorry, I forgot. Tashigi is not a professional actor after all. I have exaggerated. Li Fan smiled apologetically at Tashigi. I didn't mean it. I hope you don't mind. Tashigi nodded. His voice was like a mosquito. Okay, Li Fan, you wait here first. I'll take Tashigi to the bathroom to try on clothes. Nami put his hands on Tashigi's shoulders and pushed her into the bathroom. Looking at the backs of the two, Li Fan scratched his hair and simply sat on a chair beside him and waited. Come on, Tashigi, let me see. How will you change into this body? In the bathroom, Nami looked at Tashigi with interest. I have to say that for a cute girl like Tashigi, Nami also wants to see how she will look when she puts on men's clothing. For this reason, Nami even took off Tashigi's clothes by himself. If Li Fan saw this, he would definitely say something like, let go of Tashigi, let me do it. Nami, don't move, wait, just don't move. I don't want to wait. We are leaving Logue Town at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You hurry up and try on the clothes, and we can leave quickly. For Nami, who has been waiting for so many days, she can't wait to go back to Kokoja village to resolve the grievances with the dragon pirates. If it wasn't for the fear that the dragon would not keep its promise and was unwilling to keep its promise, Nami, who had already saved enough money to redeem Kokoja village, would have left Logue Town and returned to Kokoja village long ago. Don't wait, Nami. It's not allowed here. Tashigi's panicked voice made Li Fan, who was waiting outside, curious about the scene inside. Of course, this is just a thought. Wow, Tashigi, you're so big. Nami looked at Tashigi's heart in surprise. It seems that Li Fan made a mistake. He would never have thought that the clothes inside you are already extremely tight gone. So, the usual figure is not so attractive. Now it's like this. Even if you wrap it with a bandage, it won't be able to achieve a flat effect. Saying that, Nami reached out and touched Tashigi's heart. Yeah, Nami, what are you doing? Tashigi took a step back, folded his arms in front of his body, and looked at Nami in disbelief. I'm sorry. I just didn't expect that you, who are usually so simple, would have such a good figure. Nami smiled apologetically. Then, let me help you get dressed, and then let Li Fan see bar. As he said that, Nami spread the Kamado Tanjiro-style clothes over there, and then another burst of slapstick came into Li Fan's ears. Really? What are these two women fighting about? Looking in the direction of the bathroom, Li Fan sighed. There is still a man outside. Li Fan, do you want to go in and have a look? Medusa's cold voice sounded beside Li Fan. Of course I wanna. Li Fan, who almost uttered what was in his mind, quickly turned his head to look at Medusa. Well, Ryder, I just said it casually. Don't take it seriously. Really, originally, if you want, I can go and open the door of the bathroom for you. It's better. Li Fan shook his head. I don't want to hear the screams of the two people inside. Also, if it affects the filming of the two of them, it will be a loss to me. That's right. Medusa nodded and said nothing. Huh. Fortunately, Medusa didn't treat me as a scumbag. It might be different if someone else came. Li Fan breathed a sigh of relief. When he looked up at the bathroom again, he saw that Nami had come out with Tashigi, who had changed. Huh, Tashigi, why is your heart so big? Seeing Gao Song's presence even under loose clothes, Li Fan stood up unconsciously. On the other hand, Tashigi's already rosy face became even more blushing when he heard Li Fan's words. Chapter 34, Nami and Tashigi's audition. After Nami's explanation, Li Fan nodded. So that's the case, a little miscalculation. With a heart of this magnitude, it may be a bit difficult to simply cover it with clothes. Hearing this, Tashigi looked up. Well, Li Fan, can I play the male lead? You don't have to worry about that. Li Fan shook his head. At that time, when the time comes to shoot later, just change the clothes to be looser. And then, with a little bit of post-production, it's always done. Very well, Tashigi, your image problem has been solved. Then, show me a clip first. It just so happens that Nami is here too. You guys have a rivalry. It's like I'm testing you two at the same time. As for the content of the performance, Li Fan picked up the script and turned to the scene of the confrontation between Nezuko Kamado and Tanjiro Kamado, who had just been turned into a ghost. You guys can act out this part. Let me see. Nami leaned his head over, watching the script attentively. This is related to whether he can get a role. In order to make money, Nami will not allow himself to be labeled as a failure by Li Fan. After a few minutes, Nami nodded confidently. Okay, I'm ready, Li Fan. I'm ready to start anytime. However, before that, can you give me a set of Kamado Nezuko's clothes? Wearing the costume of the character and auditioning, it will be closer to the script. It's reasonable for you to say that. Since you ask so, then fine. Li Fan said. After speaking, Li Fan used projection magic to project the costume of Kamado Nezuko. Nami on the side happily took the clothes and ran into the bathroom quickly. In a few minutes, Nami walked out in a kimono. How about it, Director Li Fan? Am I pretty? Pretty is beautiful, but Nezuko is not like this. Seeing Nami's mischievous look, Li Fan shook his head. Nezuko's style should be the kind of cute and cute. In addition, the Nezuko you are playing now will appear a little manic and irrational because he has just been turned into a ghost. I hope you and Tashigi and so on can play well. Understand, you two? Hearing this, both Nami and Tashigi nodded. Very well then, let's begin. Hearing Li Fan's voice, both Nami and Tashigi quickly got into the mood and started their own performance. Let alone Nami. He is very good at acting, and Tashigi has already had experience in a play, so his performance is also remarkable. After the two performed according to their own requirements, Li Fan nodded. First of all, Nami, you are really a treasure. In terms of acting, Your talent surprises me. When you enter the state in a second, it is you who are talking about. The madness of Nezuko, who just became right. The sadness she showed when she was awakened by the words of her brother Tanjiro, especially your uncontrollable tears. Honestly, it moved me. Li Fan's words made Nami, who was wiping away tears, smile slightly and extended her thumb. Isn't natural? By the way, director, I'm so good. Don't you plan to give me a little more salary? You really are a money-greedy cat. Li Fan sighed. Let's do this drama well first. After that, I will continue to let you play more important roles. At that time, your remuneration will be indispensable. Then I would like to thank you in advance, director. Nami smiled. Li Fan looked at Tashigi, who was silent at the side. So it's up to you, Tashigi. Although your acting skills have improved, they are indeed still a little bit worse. You didn't perform so well in this scene. Of course, this scene is not enough to show your strengths. After all, your strengths still lie in your own swordsmanship. Overall, it is still qualified. However, in order to allow you to better play Tanjiro Kamado, in the next period of time, I will train you water-breathing genre swordsmanship and at the same time, exercise your acting skills. Let me tell you first, I will be very strict. You must first be aware. Well, Li Fan, I will work hard. Tashigi nodded hastily. Okay, go and change your clothes. It's almost time to go to Kokoja village. Li Fan looked at Nami. You want to go back to your hometown soon, Nami. Nami nodded solemnly. However, the next moment, Nami came to Li Fan with a smile. Hey, director, can you give me this costume? I quite like this costume. Li Fan shook his head and said, you should change back to your previous clothes. Your current clothes are made of my ability. If I don't maintain my ability anymore, the clothes on you will dissipate automatically. I think you don't want to walk down the street and suddenly become naked. Hearing Li Fan's words, Nami and Tashigi hurried back to the bathroom and changed their previous clothes. Chapter 35 Zoro, Breath of Thunder. I will definitely learn it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. When Li Fan brought Nami and others to the port, the actors had already been waiting for a long time. Yo, everyone has been waiting for a long time. Li Fan waved to everyone. Let's go. Everyone board the boat. With that said, Li Fan took the lead and boarded the ship he bought. The ship is large enough to accommodate hundreds of people. This is Li Fan's consideration that many actors will embark on the journey with him. At least, Li Fan will take them with him when he finds a suitable place to base. Actors like Carlisle and Alice, Li Fan still wants to work with them for a long time. Li Fan, this boat is quite big. How much did you pay for it? Nami asked curiously after boarding the boat. You said this boat cost me 5 million berry. Li Fan laughed. Because the former owner of this boat liked the movie we made so much, he sold it to me cheaply. 5 million berry. It's really cheap for such a big ship. Tashigi nodded aside. That's right. Li Fan smiled slightly. It may take a few days to sail to Kokoja village, so don't waste this time. Tashigi and Zoro, come and practice with me. Don't let up on the practice of water breath and thunder breath. Understood. Zoro walked over. I can't wait to start. However, Li Fan, I hope you won't regret teaching me swordsmanship in the future, because one day I will surpass you and knock you down. Faced with Zoro's bold words, Li Fan shrugged. If you can do it, try it. Say it first, I won't stand still. Then try, which one of us can improve faster? Zoro said with a grin. UBD. Li Fan shook his head. I hope you can be so serious when filming. Li Fan looked at Medusa beside her. Medusa, can I trouble you to distribute the script I gave you to the actors? I'm taking this idiot and Tashigi to work out on the other side of the boat. Li Fan, UBD, who are you calling a fool? Zoro shouted with wide eyes. Whoever answers is a fool. Sure enough, you want to fight, Li Fan? Come on, let's fight now. But you can't beat me. Hey, I'm so mad I must kill you. Li Fan waved his hand and looked at Tashigi. Let's go, Tashigi. Let me explain to you the water-breathing school of swordsmanship first. Hey, don't ignore me. Seeing the backs of Li Fan and Tashigi leaving, he gritted his teeth and followed. As for the other actors, after Medusa told them the script and the roles that Li Fan initially set for everyone to play, they began to study the script in front of them and their own roles. In this regard, Nami is no exception. After Li Fan brought Tashigi and Zoro to the bow, they stopped. Tashigi and Zoro, I think you've all read the script carefully. Among them, Kamadu Tanjiro's Water Breath and my wife Zenitsu's Thunder Breath. What do you two think? If you have any questions, you can ask them, and I will answer them for you. Well, Li Fan, I have a problem. Tashigi raised his hand like an obedient student. Excuse me, student Tashigi. Li Fan, I used Fire God Kagura style swordsmanship after seeing Tanjiro in the drama. So, should I also learn this style? That's a good question, Tashigi. Li Fan nodded. First of all, to answer your question, at present, you don't need to learn God of Fire Kagura. More precisely, it should be Breath of the Sun, as swordsmanship. Because the script I'm going to shoot doesn't really involve Breath of the Sun as swordsmanship yet. In the script, the only God of Fire Kagura, Garden Dance, that appears when the time comes, you can also use the water-breathing sword style instead. Perhaps in the future, when I film the sequel of Ghost Slayer, Blade 1, I will teach you. Hearing this, Tashigi breathed a sigh of relief, but she still asked worriedly, Li Fan, what if I can, I'm not sure, I can master both genres. Li Fan patted Tashigi's shoulder with a smile. If you're not good at making movies, then you don't have to. Most of the movie audiences are ordinary people, and they don't know acting skills. Although you can fully demonstrate your sword skills, it is a very good thing. However, it would be nice if only one shape could be displayed. With the addition of post-production, the finished product will not be bad either. As far as the movie is concerned, what I expect from you is that the appearance is enough. After all, I didn't ask Zoro to learn Yanhui in the last movie, did I? Tis. Hearing Li Fan's words, Zoro slapped his mouth in displeasure. Yin Fan is fine after all. It took Sasaki Kojiro a lot of time to learn in the script. But this Thunder Breath sword technique, I will definitely learn to show you, Li Fan. Chapter 36, let's have a roasted Sea King's banquet clap. Li Fan clapped his hands. That's right, it's this aura, Zoro. I really hope you can learn the Thunder Breath sword move. Don't worry, I will tell you the cultivation method of Thunder's Breath without reservation. Different from Swallow Return is a kind of sword skill tempered after spiritual and physical sublimation. But Thunder Breath has a formal cultivation method. Zoro, your own conditions are good. Perhaps, in less than a month, you will be able to learn my wife, Shani's sword skills. Perhaps, you can also integrate it into your own three-sword style to create a different genre of Thunder Breath. Hearing Li Fan's words, the corners of Zoro's mouth curled up unconsciously. You can think highly of me. Thank you so much, Li Fan. However, I have a question about my wife Shani's Thunder Breath. You asked me to play him. Does that mean that the swordsmanship you taught me is only the first form of Thunder's Breath? Why? Do you want to learn other sword types of Thunder Breath? Li Fan asked. It would be good if I could learn more. Really? Then you may be disappointed. Li Fan shrugged. I will only teach you the first form of Thunder Breath, the flash of a thunderbolt. Just practice this move to the peak for me. Don't underestimate this trick. In the subsequent plot, my wife Shani really used this trick to ultimate. I hope you can make this trick bear fruit, like my wife Shani. Zoro nodded. Concentrate on it and reach the peak. Okay, Li Fan, since you said that, I'll let you take a good look at how I made this trick work on me. Come on. Li Fan nodded with a smile. As if infected by Zoro's emotions, Tashigi's eyes became firmer. You two look good. I hope that both of you can make Kamadu Tanjiro's swordplay and my wife Zenitsu's swordplay appear in this world. Well, let's start exercising now. As he spoke, Li Fan used projection magic to project a long knife. First, let me push you both to the limit. Seeing Li Fan take out the knife, Zoro laughed. If you want to fight, no matter how many times, I will accompany you. Me too. Tashigi pulled out the long knife in his hand, Shiyu, with a serious expression. Even if I face you, Li Fan, I will not back down. Li Fan nodded. Then we will now roar. Before Li Fan finished speaking, a huge Poseidon building twice the size of the ship jumped out of the sea. Sea Kings opened his mouth wide, showing sharp teeth, and stared at everyone on the boat with a pair of fierce eyes. In its eyes, Li Fan and others are just small food. See, Sea Kings. It's not good. It's going to be eaten. No way. Are we going to die here today? Seeing the sudden appearance of Sea Kings, some of the actors on board screamed. Really? What are you worried about? Carlos looked calm. Did you forget that our director is still on board? She will protect us. Carlos, who has seen Li Fan's power, can be said to have completely become Li Fan's little fangirl. For her, as a professional actor, Li Fan, who has excellent acting skills and excellent director ability, is quite attractive to him. In addition, Li Fan has a handsome face and even stronger strength. It is no exaggeration to say that Karis is ready to act under Li Fan for a lifetime. Also have the same idea as her, Alice, and other leading actors of Fate Stay Night. It looks like we can eat fresh Sea Kings now. Li Fan twisted his neck. It's really hard work for you to bring us food, Sea Kings. As a thank you, I will let you die instantly without pain. As if understanding Li Fan's words, Sea Kings opened his mouth and roared, and then bit the ship fiercely. The breath of thunder, the shape of one, the flash of a thunderbolt, boom! At the same time as the thunder sounded, Li Fan's figure skipped over Sea King's neck. The Sea Kings, who were still rioting, became quiet in an instant, and then the people on board saw a red line appearing around Sea King's neck. Slowly, some blood left from the red line. Pooh! The Sea King's head fell from its body, and a large amount of blood spurted from its wound. Li Fan jumped back onto the boat from the huge body of Sea Kings and patted his clothes. Zoro, Tashigi, the exercise thing, let's move back a bit. Let's have a grilled Sea Kings banquet first. P.S. If you think this book is still worth reading, I hope readers can vote for free flowers, evaluation tickets, and monthly tickets. This is the motivation for the author to write. Thank you all. Dragon Boat Festival Reading Big Discount. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge. Activity time. June 22nd to June 24th. Chapter 37. One day, I will kill you. Time slowly came tonight. Looking at the sky full of stars, Li Fan stopped exercising to Shiji and Zoro. Okay, that's all for today's exercise. Zoro to Shiji. Go back and have a good rest. And by the way, try to figure out the characters in the script. Tomorrow, I will audition for each actor's role. You guys have to do it well. Tashigi and Zoro took a deep breath and both sheathed their swords. Tashigi, don't worry, Li Fan. I will work hard and try to play Tanjiro Kamado well. Zoro, is my wife Shani. Really, this role is really difficult to play. Hehe. In short, you two should work hard. I look forward to your excellent performances. With that said, Li Fan turned around and walked towards the cabin, accompanied by Medusa. That director Li Fan, Miss Medusa. Suddenly, behind Li Fan and Medusa, Alice's voice sounded. Alice, what's the matter? Li Fan turned around and asked curiously. It's actually like this, director. Alice glanced at Medusa. Director, haven't I played Miss Medusa before? I think this is probably some kind of fate. I know Miss Medusa is planning to play the role of Butterfly Channy. For the role played by Medusa, change from Butterfly Ninja to Butterfly Kane. In this case, can I play Butterfly Ninja? In the play, Butterfly Kane and Butterfly Shinobi are sisters. So, I hope to get to know Miss Medusa better through this drama. Are you going to play Butterfly Ninja? Li Fan gave Alice a lot of attention. It's not impossible, but generally speaking, we still have to wait until tomorrow's audition to make a real decision. Anyway, come on. Alice nodded emphatically. I understand, director. Then, director Li Fan and Miss Medusa, please rest well. After nodding to Li Fan and Medusa, Alice quickly ran to her room. The night gradually became darker, and some people on board had already rested, but more people were seriously preparing for the next day's audition. After seeing the quality of Li Fan's first film, the actors are all motivated to continue to appear in Li Fan's second film. With everyone's hard work, almost everyone's audition was successful in the next day's audition. Li Fan also affirmed Tomioka Yoshiyuki played by Medusa. Soon, Li Fan determined the roles of each actor in his heart. Tashigi will play Tanjiro Kamado, Medusa will play Butterfly Kane, Nami will play Nezuko, and Alice will play Butterfly Shinobu. He himself is Purgatory Zingshura, who plays Yin Zhu, preparing for the follow-up Infinite Train chapter. For other main roles, Li Fan has also found corresponding actors. Although up to now, actors have not been found for some roles. But Li Fan plans to recruit after arriving in Kokoja Village. Then, the last question now is you, Zoro. Li Fan fixed his eyes on Zoro, who lowered his head and blushed. I said, "Can't you start the audition? Now you're the only one left." The scene that Li Fan specially selected for Zoro is the scene of my wife Sean pestering a girl to make her his wife. In order to allow Zoro to play better, Li Fan specially asked an actor to be his opponent, playing the role of the girl who is pestered by Zoro to cooperate with him in acting. Hey, swordsman of the three-sword style, how long are you going to prepare for? Didn't you see that the director is getting impatient? In front of Zoro, a cute-looking boy looked at Zoro with disgust on his face. Are you a professional actor? Damn it, I'm not a professional actor, Zoro shouted. Why do I have to endure this crime? I'm obviously not such a character. But, Zoro, when you were learning swordsmanship, didn't you promise that you would work hard to play your role well? Li Fan tilted his head. And, Zoro, if you can't even cross the domain with this difficulty, and how to overcome all kinds of hardships and become the #1 swordsman in the world. Or, are you going to give up? Damn it, I know, I'll just act. Zoro gritted his teeth, took a deep breath, and auditioned for my wife Shawnee, as described in the script. To Li Fan's surprise, after Zoro entered the performance state, his performance was still somewhat similar. After his audition, Li Fan clapped his hands without hesitation. Not bad, Zoro. You really are a man who can do what you say. Although I said that I don't want it, but once I do something, it's pretty good. Presumably, in private, there is no less talk kung fu practice. Sure enough, I didn't misread you. Zoro covered his face with one hand and sighed deeply. You better stop talking, Li Fan. Let me act in such a play, and one day I will kill you. Hearing this, the corners of Li Fan's mouth curled up. The premise is that you can do it. Chapter 38, arriving at Kokoja Village, Dragon Park. This is the residence of the dragon pirates, who came to this island many years ago. Because the strength of the Murlocs was several times that of ordinary humans, the locals could not resist the invasion of the evil dragon pirates. Soon, many villages, including Kokoja Village, were occupied by the dragon pirates. In order to survive, everyone on the island has to buy their own life with money every month. Even children are no exception. In the Dragon Park, the captain of the dragon pirates, Arlong of the Megalodon Sharkman, is lying on his chair leisurely basking in the sun. Speaking of which, our navigator Nami has been out for a long time this time. Could it have been caught by a marine for stealing? Haha. Probably not. Although Nami is a human being, he is still smart. He should not be caught by the stupid marine. What's more, Nami has saved almost 100 million berry now, let alone let himself be caught. You say yes, Captain Arlong. Arlong's eyes opened at the Murloc's comment, and the corners of his mouth parted into a big laugh. Ha ha ha. Nami is our important navigator. If she is really caught by marine, we have to save her. However, it's so fast, before you know it, has Nami almost saved 100 million berry? The cadre of the dragon pirates, Murloc karate master Crow Obi, walks up to Arlong. Arlong, after Nami saves 100 million berry, do you really plan to return Kokoja Village to Nami? How is this possible, Kruby? Arlong turned to look at Kruby. In my opinion, Nami will never be able to bring 100 million berry to me. Arlong, Nami is back. At this moment, a shout came from outside the gate of Evil Dragon Park. Arlong and Kruby turned their heads to look and found that Hachi, who was also a cadre of the dragon pirates, was running over quickly. Hachi, did you see Nami come back? Kruby asked. That's right, Kruby. Shoutwa nodded. I was walking by the sea before, and I saw Nami arrive at Kokoja Village in a boat with my own eyes. Moreover, she brought many other humans to the island. Hearing this, Arlong stood up interested. Did Nami bring someone back? That would be interesting. It's not her character. Xiaoba, did she bring back Marine? Xiaoba shook his head. The way they look, they're just normal humans, Arlong. Hearing this, Arlong nodded knowingly. Since our navigator is back, as the captain, we naturally need to express our concern. Arlong looked at the two Murloc minions beside him. You two go and bring Nami to my side. I also want to know why she brought humans here. Yes, Captain Arlong. The two Murlocs nodded and quickly ran out of the gate of Dragon Park towards Nami's house. Nami is back. Perhaps she has saved enough 100 million berry. In this case, I have to call Colonel Mouse to come over. Arlong laughed and said, I really want to see. Nami knows that she the expression on your face when you have enough money taken away, haha. On the other hand, under Nami's command, Leaf Fan's group, who had safely landed in Kokoja village, came to Nami's house. Nami's sister Nua Kigeo couldn't help being very surprised when she saw Nami suddenly appear and brought back so many people. Nami, who are they? Yo, you're Nami's sister Nua Kigeo. Before Nami could accept it, Li Fan passed Nami and came Nua Kigeo. Sure enough, as Nami said, she is a beauty. Well, actually, I'm a director, and now Nami is working for me. It's quite Nami. Your acting skills are pretty good too. How about it? Are you interested in becoming my actor? The salary is negotiable. Nua Kigeo blinked blankly. Director? Actor? Nua Kigeo looked at Nami. Nami, are you doing such a job now? That's right, Nua Kigeo. Nami's lips curled up slightly. This guy's salary is pretty good. Just for acting in a movie, I got 10 million berry. This is much safer than my previous method of making money. It's also because of acting, so I came back a little late this time. Nua Kigeo, come and act under this guy too. If you do, you can definitely earn several million berry at once. I see. Being an actor is indeed much safer than your previous job. No, Kigeo nodded. But, Nami, you should know that the dragon pirates are still here. It's not safe to bring them here now. What? Are there any pirates here? Tashiji, who was born as a marine, immediately stepped forward and asked, Huh? Didn't Nami tell you anything? Nua Kigeo asked with a puzzled expression. I know about this, Miss Nua Kigeo. The reason why I came here this time is also to deal with this problem. Li Fan patted his chest. As my actor, she cannot be allowed to live in the shadow of pirates. Chapter 39. The Murlocs are coming. Are you going to deal with the dragon pirates? Nua Kigeo felt as if he had misheard. You mean, do you want to defeat the dragon pirates? Of course. Li Fan nodded affirmatively. She has already told me about the dragon pirates. Although the dragon pirates promised Nami, after she saves 100 million berry, she will return Kokoja village to Nami. However, I don't think the words of a vicious pirate are credible. Also, instead of giving the money to the pirates, Nami should use it herself. This is my idea. Nua Kigeo looked at Nami with some surprise. It's amazing that Nami would tell you these things. It seems that she also trusts you quite a bit, thinking that you could defeat the evil dragon pirates. Whether you can defeat him or not, don't you know if you try it? Li Fan raised his mouth slightly and looked at Nami. Then, Nami, let's go to the Dragon Park. Take care of their affairs as soon as possible, so you can help me film with peace of mind. Yeah, Nami nodded. Then, Nua Kigeo, I'll trouble you to entertain the others first, and I'll be back later. Wait, Li Fan, I'm going too. Seeing that Li Fan and Nami wanted to leave, Tashiji said quickly, As a Marine, I can't just sit back and watch pirates do violence here. Murloc, it seems very interesting. Zoro cracked the corner of his mouth and said with a smirk, Li Fan, why don't I go meet the Murloc too? Li Fan waved his hand. It's enough for me alone. You two should stay here honestly. In addition, I checked. The captain of the dragon pirates has a reward of 20 million berry. I can't let you snatch this head. Hee hee. When you said that, I just remembered that I'm a pirate hunter. Zoro stepped forward. I'll grab this head. Then I can only say sorry to you, Zoro. Li Fan looked at Medusa. Medusa, please stop them for me. Understood, Li Fan. Medusa nodded, and her figure flashed, quickly blocking Zoro and Tashiji. Is Rider Medusa? Zoro's eyes narrowed. Just right. Let me see if you, who suddenly appeared next to Li Fan, are the rider in the movie. Saying that, Zoro stepped forward. However, before Zoro's footsteps landed, Medusa suddenly appeared beside Zoro and pressed his head into the ground. What? Zoro widened his eyes. Well, so fast. Tashiji on the side was also surprised. I didn't see this speed clearly at all. This is an order from Li Fan. If the two of you cannot follow, I won't do it anymore. Medusa let go of Zoro and took a step back. Damn it. I'm not the type to throw in the towel if I don't fight. The freed Zoro quickly drew out his knife. It's great that you are so strong. In this way, let me try Thunder Breath. You will be fine, right? As soon as the words fell, Zoro rushed to Medusa quickly and slashed at Medusa with the back of his knife. Ding! Medusa summoned her whooming short sword to block Zoro's attack. It seems that in order to make you quieter, you need to be a little bit harsher. Medusa raised her head slightly and threw the dagger at Zoro. Zoro stepped back quickly, dodging the dagger attack. Just when he was about to attack again, Medusa slightly pulled the chain connected to the dagger. The chain seemed to be alive, wrapped around Zoro's body under the pull of the dagger. With Medusa thrown aside, Zoro was immediately hung from the beam in the room. It's amazing. You can subdue a swordsman of the three-sword style in an instant, as expected of Miss Medusa. Alice clasped her hands together and said with bright eyes, "Damn it, you woman, let me down quickly." Zoro tried hard to open the chains on his body, but found that his own strength could not shake the chains at all. Medusa ignored Zoro and turned to Tashigi. "Do you want to be hung up too?" Tashigi stared blankly at Zoro, and then at Medusa, who was looking at him coldly. "No, I still won't go. I need to figure out my acting skills now." Saying that, Tashigi turned around directly and walked to the other side. "Hey, you woman, are you giving up like this?" Zoro shouted loudly. "Haha, Zoro, just sit on it and think about it for a while." Seeing Zoro's angry look, Li Fan covered his stomach and laughed. After a while, Li Fan stopped. "Let's go, Nami. We don't have many babies and we should go." Murlocs. Murlocs are coming." Li Fan's words were interrupted by a sudden voice. Li Fan turned around and saw his actor looking back in surprise. Following their line of sight, two Murlocs appeared in Li Fan's field of vision. Chapter 40. The Conflict in the Dragon Park. Seeking flowers. "Hey, isn't this our navigator? You're finally back. Presumably, you have gained quite a lot this time. Boss Arlong seems very displeased with your behavior for bringing so many humans, so he wants you to go to Dragon Park." The two Murlocs swaggered and said as they walked towards Nami, "Is this the Murloc? Although I prepare myself, it's really ugly." Li Fan pinched his chin and looked the two Murlocs up and down. Hearing this, the two Murlocs stopped moving forward. "Huh, you guy, how dare you call us ugly and don't want to live? Outsiders don't seem to know the horror of our Murlocs. Although they don't know what kind of relationship you have with Nami, you have to pay the price for brazenly calling Murlocs ugly." "Is there a price? Maybe you two won't have such an opportunity." The corner of Li Fan's mouth curled up, and his figure quickly disappeared in front of the eyes of the two Murlocs. "Human, what's going on? Where did that human go?" The Murloc widened his eyes and looked around, trying to see the existence of Li Fan. "You can't even detect my movement trajectory. Why are you talking about making me pay the price you say, right?" Li Fan's voice sounded behind the two Murlocs. At the same time, Li Fan put his hands on both sides of the heads of the two Murlocs. Boom! Li Fan closed his hands inward, and the heads of the two Murlocs hit each other hard. The sound of bone cracking came, and the two Murlocs rolled their eyes and fell directly to the ground. This dead Nuwa Kigeo saw the obviously sunken heads of the two Murlocs and the blood flowing from their mouths and noses. His eyes were full of surprise. "Let's go, Nami, since that Arlong has come to invite you. Let's go there quickly." Li Fan raised his hand and patted Nami, who was also surprised, motioning for her to lead him the way. "Wait, Li Fan, are you really going alone?" Nami looked at Li Fan. "Although I know you are very strong, it's safer to take Miss Medusa with you. Arlong is a vicious pirate who can tear out a house with his bare hands." Is it difficult to pull out a house with bare hands?" Li Fan smiled and put his hand around Nami's waist. "Forget it. Let me carry you. Remember to show the way." Li Fan stomped on the ground with both feet and rushed out with Nami at a very fast speed. Seeing Li Fan's disappearing back, Nuwa Kigeo looked at Tashigi worriedly. "Well, that director Li Fan, is it really okay to go alone? Since Nami decides to have a break with Arlong, why don't I ask everyone in the village to go with me?" "Not yet." Tashiji shook his head. Don't look at Li Fan. He can fight against the Marine hero garb. If he goes, he will definitely be able to defeat the pirates. Well, Ms. Nwoki Gao, can you tell me the detailed information about this pirate group? I want to know why there are such pirates stationed on the island, but no Marine comes here to catch them. It's a long story. Nuo Kigeo looked at the sky and sighed deeply. On the other side, with Li Fan driving at full speed, Li Fan and Nami came to the outside of the Dragon Park in a short while. Oh, the Dragon Pirates really enjoy themselves, and they have built their territory so luxuriously. Looking at the evil Dragon Park in front of him, Li Fan couldn't help sighing. Over the years, they have obtained a lot of money from the people on the island. It is not surprising that they can build such a building. Nami stared at the Dragon Park with strong disgust in his eyes. Li Fan raised his hand and patted Nami's shoulder. You have worked so hard for so many years, but after that, you can freely choose the life you want. After speaking, Li Fan walked straight to the gate of the Dragon Park, and at the same time a long knife appeared in Li Fan's hand. Shut up! Li Fan raised his hand and waved the long knife in his hand, quickly cutting through the gate. Under Li Fan's long knife, the hard door was as fragile as paper. Boom! The sound of the gate collapsing caught the attention of Arlong's gang in the park. They turned their heads, looked at Li Fan, and at the same time saw Nami, who was following behind Li Fan. Yo, Nami, you're back. The leader of the Dragon Pirates stood in front of Li Fan and Nami, who walked into the park. Can you tell me what you mean by bringing this man here? It's no small crime to destroy our gate. Krobi. Nami grabbed Li Fan's sleeve and looked at Krubi nervously. Nami knows a lot about Crow Obi, the cadre of the Dragon Pirates. Nami once saw with his own eyes that Krubi destroyed a village by himself. Even though Nami knew that Li Fan was very strong, Nami was still very nervous when facing the fear from childhood to adulthood. Speaking of sins, you have forced Nami to work for you for so many years, occupy this small island, and let the people on the island pay you every month. This is a sin. Li Fan's lips curled up. Huh? Could it be that you came to judge us? Brush. A cold light flashed across Krubi's neck, making his unfinished words stuck in his throat forever. Laugh, blood spattered, and Krubi's head was directly sprayed high into the sky by the blood that shot up into the sky. Chapter 41. Dragon Pirates destroyed. The sudden situation caused every Murloc in the Dragon Park to widen their eyes. After being dazed for a moment, all the Murlocs cast fierce glances at Li Fan. UBD, how dare you kill Krubi? Another cadre, Chiyu, with thick lips, spit out water bullets like bullets from his protruding lips and attacked Li Fan. It's disgusting. Li Fan waved the long knife in his hand, and a gust of wind rose out of nowhere, blowing away the water bombs Chiyu spit out, and at the same time, Chiyu was also blown away. BD, where did this guy come from? Nami, is he the helper you called? Are you going to betray us? The Murlocs roared angrily. This is really strange. You should never regard Nami as a companion, and Nami has never really wanted to join you. How do you feel that Nami betrayed you? Li Fan put the knife on his shoulder, looked at the Murlocs, and said mockingly, Damn boy, I'm going to kill you. Ridiculously received by Li Fan, the Murlocs wanted to run over to attack Li Fan angrily. At this time, the Murloc Arlong appeared in front of them. Captain Arlong, don't do anything. Let me deal with this guy. Arlong walked up to Li Fan with a gloomy expression. After looking at Li Fan, Arlong looked at Nami, who was hiding behind Li Fan. Nami, let me ask you, is this guy really brought by you? Hearing Arlong's voice, Nami's body trembled visibly. For example, what if I say I brought it? The corners of Arlong's mouth split open, revealing a mouthful of sharp teeth. It goes without saying, of course it kills you. Arlong's tone was flat, as if he was talking about killing an animal. This man killed my partner, and now it's a situation where he can't stop dying. First, let's start with you. Arlong raised his right fist and slammed it towards Li Fan's face. Snapped. What? Seeing Li Fan, who raised his palm and easily attacked himself immediately, Arlong's eyes widened slightly. Is this the Murloc's strength that is several times greater than that of ordinary humans? It seems that it is not a big deal. Li Fan tilted his head, and the long knife in his right hand quickly swept across Arlong's arm from bottom to top. Ah, my hand, my hand. Clutching his broken arm, Arlong cried out in pain as he backed away. No, Arlong's hand was cut off. What's going on with this man? The Murlocs looked at Li Fan in horror, seeing their invincible Captain Arlong's arm was easily cut off, and for a while, the Murlocs dared not go forward again. UBD, who the hell are you? Arlong looked at Li Fan with cold sweat on his face. It wasn't until this moment that Arlong realized that the person in front of him was not an ordinary person at all. That kind of oppressive force Arlong has only ever felt in the hands of Marine Admiral Kazuru. Hee, does this make you feel scared? Li Fan shook his head. I'm so cowardly, Arlong. But that's right, traveling thousands of miles from New World to the weakest East Blue, doesn't it just highlight the weakness in your hearts? Escape from the strong. Choose the weak to oppress? After all, it's just a group of weak guys. Disappointing guy, forget it. I'm not interested in continuing to talk to you. Now, let me count your crimes. Projection, start. Li Fan raised his hand to the sky, and under the surge of magic power, dozens of long swords suddenly appeared in the sky above the Dragon Park. As Li Fan waved his hand downward, the long sword rushed towards the Murlocs in the park. Facing the long sword formed by Li Fan's magic power, the Murlocs had no ability to resist at all. In a few seconds, the Murlocs all fell to the ground, losing their lives forever. Okay, Nami, you can open your eyes now. Li Fan patted Nami's shoulder and said. Hearing this, Nami slowly opened his eyes that were closed due to momentary fear. Li Fan, are they all dead? Nami asked in surprise, looking at the Murlocs who were all lying on the ground with long swords stuck in their bodies. Nami's gaze finally settled on Arlong. Arlong seems to have received special care from Li Fan. His body was almost covered with swords. Hey, they're all dead. Li Fan nodded. Didn't I say that? I'm very strong. Really, they're all dead. Nami lowered his head. His shoulders trembled slightly. Bel-Em-Ri, did you see that these Murlocs are finally dead? Didi Nami's tears fell to the ground, making a Didi sound. Nami, Li Fan sighed, stretched out his hand, and pulled Nami into his arms. If you want to cry, just cry well, Nami. Woo! In the empty Dragon Park, Nami's cry spread far, far away. Chapter 42, saying goodbye to the unhappy past after Nami's mood calmed down a little. She took Li Fan into the building next to her. Nami, is there anything else I need to take? Li Fan asked with a large bag of treasures. These are all the financial reports. Nami patted the large package of financial reports. However, before leaving, I want to go there again. Nami turned her head and looked into the next room. After a little hesitation, Nami opened the door and walked in, followed by Li Fan. In the future, I will finally bid farewell to this room. Touching the tools placed on the table, Nami said quietly, Do you know, Li Fan, I used to work here. Of course, they are forced to work by those Murlocs. By the way, Li Fan, it seems that I haven't told you about my dream yet. Actually, I hope that one day I could draw a map of the whole world with a brush in my hand. It's a great dream. The corners of Li Fan's lips curled up. If it's you, Nami, this dream will definitely come true one day. You also think I can realize my dream. Nami smiled. Actually, Li Fan, I lied to you before. When you asked me to sign the contract with you, I actually didn't take it seriously at all. I just thought, if this is the case, it would be nice if you could come and help. That's right. Li Fan touched the back of his head. Should I say, it's really Nami. I, as a director, couldn't see this acting skill. Aren't you angry, Li Fan? Don't be angry. Li Fan shook his head. Originally, my contract can be terminated at any time. Li Fan. Nami looked at Li Fan with some emotion. Of course, as the price for breaking the contract, this big bag of financial reports will belong to me. The corner of Li Fan's lips curled up. I think you should remember the price for breach of contract written in the contract. UBD, give me back my touch. Hearing Li Fan's words, Nami grabbed Li Fan's collar and shook it vigorously. Okay, I lied to you. Li Fan patted the back of Nami's hand. If you really don't want to continue the contract with me, I can break up with you peacefully. What kind of peaceful breakup? It's like I really want to fall in love with you. Nami said with her back to Li Fan, blushing a little. Hey, Li Fan, if possible, can we re-sign a contract? Nami turned around, staring at Li Fan with a pair of beautiful eyes. Of course, I will also participate in the formulation of this contract. It's not impossible. The contract was originally negotiated and drawn up by both parties. Li Fan nodded. So what kind of conditions do you have, Nami? Li Fan, if you make a movie, you will travel to every corner of the world in the future. Well, I want my movies to be seen in every part of the world in the future. So, I will indeed travel to every corner of the world. That's good. Nami smiled slightly. I hope that the new contract can include the agreement that you need to take me to every place in the world. In this way, I could draw a map of the world. Yes, if it's just this condition, there is no problem at all. What's more, the remuneration paid to me will be doubled every step of the way. Hey, don't push yourself too hard. Li Fan stretched out his hand and pinched Nami's face. I haven't said that I will reduce your remuneration because of the conditions you put on, but you want me to increase your remuneration. Don't mind it so much, Li Fan. Anyway, you make so much money making movies. Why don't you give me a little more? Even if I make money by making movies, I can't give you so much casually. What do other actors think of you? You're not my brothers, sisters, wife, and family members. If other actors find out, it will make me too. What about high rewards? Li Fan, do you mean that you can give me more money as long as I become your family? Huh? Nami, could it be that you fell in love with me and want to marry me? It's not impossible, as long as you keep all the money for me. Nami smiled. Hey, then here comes the question. When will we have a bridal chamber? If we don't have a bridal chamber, it shouldn't be considered a wife. Hearing Li Fan's words, Nami's expression froze slightly. TSK, you money-grubbing cat is really a liar. Li Fan shook his head. I will promise to take you around the world in the future, and the other contents of the contract will remain the same as before. Now, let's get out of here together. Don't make Nwoki wait too long. Nami nodded and followed Li Fan out of the Dragon Park. Li Fan, why did you take out Arlong's body? Nami asked suspiciously after walking out of the park. After all, he is the pirate who offered a bounty of 20 million berry, so his body still needs to be kept. The corner of Li Fan's mouth curled up, and he casually threw Arlong's body into the distance. Later, Li Fan used projection magic to project a longbow and a pseudo-spiral sword. Hey, Li Fan, are you going to... Thinking of Li Fan bombing Garp with that fake spiral sword, Nami's heartbeat instantly quickened. That's what you think. Li Fan put his hands on Nami's waist and led him to jump more than 20 meters into the air. Nami hugged Li Fan's waist tightly as he lifted off suddenly. Look, Nami, from today onwards, this place that gave you an unhappy childhood will no longer exist. Li Fan drew his long bow, pseudo-spiral sword. Boom! There was a huge explosion, and a red light shone in the evil Dragon Park. When everything subsided, everything in Dragon Park, including the sea chart that Nami was forced to draw by the Dragon Pirates, everything disappeared. Chapter 43. Colonel Mouse in Kokoja Village. A group of people in marine uniforms were walking on the streets. People who have been oppressed by the Dragon Pirates for a long time saw the marine landing, and for a while, they regarded them as the existence to wipe out the Dragon Pirates. Rumble the sudden loud noise caught the attention of the leader marine. He frowned and turned to look in the direction of the explosion. That's the direction of Dragon Park. That guy Arlong. Is he setting off a firecracker? Forget it. I'd better go and do what he explained, and then go to him. Colonel Mouse, who was the colonel of the 16th branch, shook his head, muttered in a low voice, and walked towards Nami in Nokigo's house. When Colonel Mouse and Marine behind him arrived at Nagi's home, the actors were talking among themselves, waiting for Li Fan's return. The arrival of Colonel Mouse apparently also caught the attention of the cast, especially Tashigi. Marine? Has Marine finally noticed this place? Tashigi breathed a sigh of relief. At the beginning, after hearing that the island had been ruled by the Dragon Pirates for 8 years, and there was no Marine to save them, Tashigi, who was Marine, felt deeply guilty. Seeing Marine appear now, although the timing is a bit late, Tashigi still feels quite relieved. Marine, what are you doing here? Nuwa Kigeo, the master, walked to Colonel Mouse and asked. This is Nami's home. right? Colonel Mouse pinched his beard and looked at the people in the yard with interest. Nuwa Kigeo frowned. Is there anything you can do, Marine? Also, how do you know about Nami? It's right that this is Nami's home. Colonel Mouse turned his head and looked at Nuwa Kigeo. I received information that Nami is a thief who stole 100 million berries financial report. Now, I'm going to take back this financial report. When the people in the yard heard Colonel Mouse's words, they all fell silent, and they all looked at Colonel Mouse in disbelief. Wait a minute, Tashigi walked to Colonel Mouse. Aren't you here to deal with the dragon pirates? I'm not here this time to deal with the dragon pirates. The thief Nami's matter is what I should deal with. Colonel Mouse waved at Tashigi. Ordinary citizens, get out of the way. I am now looking for the stolen money that Nami hid. That thief must have hidden the stolen money in this yard. Soldier, go find the stolen money. Yes, Colonel Mouse. Hearing Colonel Mouse's words, 2 soldiers came forward with shovels. Is this the Marine who didn't care about the pirates, but came here to catch the thief? It's amazing. Zoro, who was still hanging from the beam, looked at Colonel Mouse sarcastically. Hey, that one looks like Mouse Guy. You're not in the same group as the dragon pirates, are you? Mouse. UBD. You call me a mouse just now, right? Colonel Mouse looked at Zoro angrily. Although his name is a mouse, it doesn't mean that he likes being compared to a mouse. Soldier, take him down for me, and I will teach him a lesson. 2 more soldiers came out from behind Colonel Mouse and walked towards Zoro. Seeing the 2 Marines approaching, Zoro didn't panic at all, but looked at the 2 Marines with a look of fun. You guys, back off. The figure of Medusa suddenly appeared in front of the 2 Marines. It's you who should back off. One of the Marines raised his gun and pointed at Medusa. Don't affect our work. Medusa raised her head slightly and was about to unload Marine's gun in front of her when Tashigi appeared beside Marine and unloaded the gun in his hand. The next moment, all the Marines raised their guns and pointed at Tashigi. What a brave woman. She dared to snatch Marine's gun. Colonel Mouse smiled and walked towards Tashigi. Even if you were killed for such a crime, it is not a problem. Woman, I advise you to put down the gun in your hand. Tashigi took a deep look at Colonel Mouse, then put his feet together and said very seriously, I'm Marine at Logue Town, Naval Headquarters Sergeant Tashigi. Colonel Mouse of the Marine Branch, please answer my question. Why did you choose to come here to catch the thief instead of dealing with the dragon pirates? Could it be that the work of catching thieves is more important than catching pirates? Also, why do you think Miss Nami is a thief? Although Tashigi's rank is only sergeant, but as a Marine who came out of Naval Headquarters, her rank of sergeant can be compared to Marine Branch Colonel. Strictly speaking, she and Colonel Mouse belong to the same level of Marine. Hearing Tashigi's words, Colonel Mouse was obviously stunned. The next moment, he raised his finger to Tashigi. You guy, you know what it is to impersonate Marine. If you doubt my identity, you can call Colonel Smoker Station in Logue Town, and he will prove my identity. Before Colonel Mouse could finish speaking, Tashigi interrupted him. Hearing Smoker's name, Colonel Mouse froze completely, because he suddenly remembered that Colonel Smoker in Logue Town did have an assistant named Tashigi by his side. Colonel Mouse, who has served as a branch colonel in East Blue for many years, still knows this. If this woman is really Naval Headquarters Staff Sergeant Tashigi. Before he knew it, Colonel Mouse was sweating profusely. Not only Colonel Mouse, but other Marines who pointed guns at Tashigi also trembled. If Naval Headquarters knew that they were in league with Colonel Mouse, they would definitely be in jail. All the Marines looked to Colonel Mouse, hoping that he would make a decision. Aren't you willing to call? In that case, let me call. Tashigi found out the phone bug and planned to call Smoker. BD shoot, you all shoot me. Seeing Tashigi's actions, Colonel Mouse finally couldn't suppress the fear in his heart and ordered the soldiers to shoot. The Marine soldier looked left and right and finally raised his gun and pointed it at Tashigi. Projection, start. Ding, ding, ding. Suddenly, dozens of 2-meter-high long swords fell from the sky and trapped every soldier together. Chapter 44 quietly calls Smoker. What's going on? Colonel Mouse's eyes widened, and he couldn't help but take a step back, but accidentally tripped over a stone, and when he was about to fall to the ground, he supported his shoulders with both hands. Are you all right, Colonel Mouse? Colonel Mouse stood firm and looked at the man behind him. Who are you? Oh, didn't Arlong tell you about my existence? Li Fan looked at Colonel Mouse in surprise. I was asked by Arlong to help you. I heard that there's a Marine from Naval Headquarters here. Arlong was worried that you might not be able to handle it. So he asked me to help you get rid of her. After all, the Marine from Naval Headquarters is very strong. As he spoke, Li Fan waved his hand, and the giant sword that trapped the Marines flew into the sky, hovering behind Li Fan. These swords are under your control. Colonel Mouse widened his eyes. That's right. Then why did you stop me just now? Well, I think that as a Marine, it's not easy to do anything to Marine, so I stopped it. Li Fan shrugged. After all, you and I are people who cooperate with Arlong, and I more or less stopped thinking about you. You're right. Colonel Mouse nodded. Hee. Arlong is quite thoughtful. I've worked with him for so many years, and he can finally do some good things. By the way, what's your name? Thank you for helping me. My name is Li Fan. After arriving in another world, remember not to use my name. The corners of Li Fan's mouth curled up. Another world, what do you mean? Boom! Before Colonel Mouse could finish speaking, a long sword hanging in the air suddenly fell down and directly nailed Colonel Mouse to the ground. Colonel Mouse! The Marines widened their eyes and pointed their guns at Li Fan. I advise you to put down your guns, Marine. Li Fan looked up. I promise, the moment before you pull the trigger, the sword on your head will fall on your body first. Do you believe it? Hearing Li Fan's extremely intimidating words, coupled with the lessons learned by Colonel Mouse, the Marines trembled. After following Colonel Mouse and cooperating with pirates, all of them have lost their firm to join Marine in the first place, want to save the people and fight against pirates. When faced with the threat of death, all that is left for everyone is fear and timidity. After one Marine dropped the gun in his hand, the remaining Marines dropped their guns one after another as if the start button had been pressed. Well, this is good. Although you may be tried by military in the future, at least you will hold your life. Li Fan nodded, walked in front of Tashigi, and said to the phone bug in his hand, You say so, smoker. It turned out that when Li Fan was talking to Colonel Mouse just now, Tashigi had already called smoker. The conversation between Li Fan and Colonel Mouse just now, including the fact that he lured Colonel Mouse to admit his relationship with Arlong, and Colonel Mouse himself said that he had a cooperative relationship with Arlong, was clearly heard by Smoker. Fisk, is it a moth in the Marine? Smoker's extremely unhappy voice came out from the phone worm. Li Fan, that Colonel Mouse, you can kill it if you kill it, but other Marine soldiers, I hope you let Marine handle it. Afterwards, I will contact the nearby Marine branch to contain them. No problem, then I will leave this matter to you. But you have to hurry up if the nearby villagers want to beat them, I don't care. Li Fan laughed. As long as you don't kill him, whatever you want. Tashigi, since you're at the scene, you'll follow along with this matter. Yes, Colonel Smoker. Tashigi replied. By the way, Smoker, the pirate Arlong's bounty, you can also ask Marine to bring it to me. 20 million berry, don't miss a single one. New. As soon as the voice fell, the phone bug was hung up. It seems that Smoker is quite angry. Li Fan shook his head. Tashigi, then leave these Marines to you for now. Understood, Li Fan. Tashigi nodded, and then walked towards Nami, who was not far away. I'm sorry, Ms. Nami. Because of Marine's mistakes, this place has experienced so much suffering. Come on, Tashigi, it's not your fault. Nami waved his hand. In addition, I also want to thank you for fighting against the Mouse Colonel just now for me. This is what I should do as a Marine. Tashigi shook his head and looked at the trembling Marine. You guys get out of here with me first. Take Colonel Mouse with you. Hearing this, Marine, who knew she had committed a serious crime, had to obediently obey Tashigi's order, took Colonel Mouse's body, and left the yard of Nami's house. So, shouldn't we have a banquet, Nami? Li Fan patted Nami on the shoulder to celebrate the liberation of Kokoja village. That's right, it's time for a banquet. Aegean, the sheriff of Kokoja village, stepped into the yard. Nami, I already know about the dragon pirates. About this good news, everyone is busy spreading the word, and many people are preparing for the banquet. Nami, you have worked hard these years. All these years for us, I've been wronging myself. Hearing the words of Jian, who he respects very much, tears slowly appeared in Nami's eyes. Really, Jin, don't make Nami cry. Nuwa Kigeo put his hand on Nami's shoulder. Today is a happy day. Everyone should laugh. That's right. Look at me. I don't know what I'm talking about when I get excited. Jin shook his head, then looked at Li Fan, who was beside Nami. This gentleman must be the one who defeated Arlong. Thank you very much. If you can, please come to our banquet. Of course. Li Fan nodded, looked at Alice and the others beside him. Everyone should go too. Oh. Everyone cheered and walked out of the yard. Hey, I said, you guys don't forget me. I'm still hanging. Zoro shouted from the beam. Chapter 45. Momosaji applying for an actor. The destruction of the dragon pirates completely boiled Kokoja village and other villages ruled by the dragon pirates. People cried and cheered for joy, excited that they were finally free. Many people brought vegetables, fruits, meat, etc. to Kokoja village, wanting to meet their benefactors. The entire Kokoja village was caught in the hilarity of the banquet. Really, from this point of view, the training of Tashigi and Zoro, as well as filming, will be postponed. Looking at the cheering people in front of him, Li Fan shook his head and sighed. After all, it's the day when the mountain that has accumulated for many years is cleared. Behind Li Fan, Nuwa Ki came over with a wine glass. Because of drinking, Nuwa Kigeo's fair skin was also stained with a slight blush. Li Fan, can you have a drink with me? Of course. Li Fan nodded, stretched out the wine glass in his hand, and touched the wine glass in Master Nwoki's hand. After Nuwa Kigeo drank the wine in his hand, he simply sat beside Li Fan. Hey, Li Fan, thank you so much. Thank you for saving Nami and our village. You have said this many times. Li Fan smiled. However, no matter how many times you say such a thing, it's not too much. Nuwa Kigeo looked at the sky. I really want Bel Emri to see how happy everyone is now. After a little silence, Nuwa Kigeo continued. Li Fan, you're still recruiting actors. Are there any suitable roles for me in your script? There are some supporting roles that are still lacking in actors. If you're interested, you can play a mother role. By the way, this mother role is the mother of Nami's character. Hey, this is really interesting. Nuwa Ki raised her eyebrows. Please let me try it, Director Li Fan. Li Fan nodded, took out the script from his pocket, and handed it to Nuwa Kigeo. This is the script I plan to shoot this time. You can read it first. After that, I will audition for you. If possible, you'll play the role of Tanjiro Kamado's mother. Well, may I ask, are you Director Li Fan? Suddenly, a very mature female voice came from behind Li Fan and Nuwa Kigeo. Li Fan turned his head and found an extremely tall woman in red tights and tight shorts smiling at him. Momosaji, Li Fan was slightly startled. This guy must be Marine's Admiral backup, Momosaji Gion. What's she doing here? Although surprised in his heart, Li Fan didn't show it on his face. Instead, he asked curiously, I am indeed Li Fan. What can I do for this beautiful lady? Gion smiled and sat down opposite Li Fan. It's true. I heard about you from my friends in Logtown. I'm very interested in the movies you make, so I want to go to Logtown to see your movies. But when I got there, your movie wasn't showing anymore. Later, I heard that you, Li Fan, came to Kokoja village, so I wanted to try my luck. I didn't expect to meet you here. I'm so happy. Hearing this, Li Fan couldn't help but looked Gion up and down. Well, Li Fan, is there anything on me? It's nothing. I'm just happy that my movie can attract others. Li Fan raised his lips. May I ask, what should I call you? Although he knew the identity of Momosaji Gion, but Li Fan was not stupid enough to say it directly. That would be too abrupt. My name is Gion, and I'm a geisha. Actually, I'm taking the liberty to bother you this time. Apart from wanting to see your movies, I also hope to be your actor and shoot movies with you. Are you a geisha? Do you want to come to my place to make a movie? Li Fan blinked in surprise. Excuse me, is there anything strange about this, Director Li Fan? Can't a geisha be an actress with you? No, you misunderstood, Ms. Gion. It's just that I'm a little surprised that a special geisha will come to apply here. Li Fan shook his head. However, since you made a special trip, you can't let you go home empty-handed. How about this? I only have a movie in which you can play a cameo role first. Let me see your skills and then decide whether to really sign you. Then, thank you, Director Li Fan. Gion bowed slightly. By the way, director Lee Fan, although Lowtown is no longer able to watch your movie, but if you are here, you should be able to watch the movie bar. I'm really curious about the Fate's Day night you filmed. Well, it's not impossible. Lee Fan lowered his head, gradually lost in thought. Now there are 10,050 box office points left, but you can buy screening tools from the system. It's just that if you buy a projection tool like Lowtown that can accommodate 2,000 people, it's not easy to collect it, and it's not convenient to put such a tool on the current ship. Originally, I was thinking of getting the King's Treasure of the King of Heroes so that I could store these tools more conveniently. Ding! Remind the host, the projection tool purchased from the system provides reserve capacity. And this feature, Lee Fan's eyes widened slightly. This is a good after-sales service. In this case, you can buy a projection device first and earn some money in Kokoja Village. With this thought, Lee Fan stood up. Miss Guillaume, you came at a good time. Just in time, I plan to show this movie here in Kokoja Village. You can go and watch it together. Of course, since you are still an audience, the ticket money that should be given should also be given. Of course. Guillaume smiled slightly. I heard that Mr. Lee Fan's fare is quite affordable, and you can enjoy an excellent movie with only 1,000 berry. This matter should be true, haha. Chapter 46 Preparations for each unit. Start shooting system. I want to spend 2,000 box office points to buy a set of projection equipment. Ding. Congratulations to host for getting his own audio playback device. Do you need to extract it now? No need for now. Wait until I find a suitable place. Lee Fan stood up for what he had done and looked at Nua Kigeo beside him. Nua Kigo, can you take me to a relatively empty place? I'm planning to show the film here, and I hope to find a place where as many people as possible can see the film. As for the open places, the Dragon Park should be considered the most open place. Nua Kigeo put his hand on his forehead and said, however, everyone probably doesn't like that place. The rest is the square in the village. Lee Fan nodded. Then please take me there, Nua Kigo. Nua Kigeo nodded slightly, stood up, and took the lead towards the village square. Lee Fan and Guillaume followed closely behind. On the way, Lee Fan turned his head and looked at Guillaume with interest, and Guillaume smiled at Lee Fan. As a Marine, you come to me as a geisha. Did Marine come over here to be an undercover agent? Could it be that you're interested in the abilities revealed in my last movie? No. If it's just these things, it shouldn't be enough to let a Marine Admiral alternate come to me. So, I'm interested in existences like the Sword of Promised Victory and the Sword of Deviation. Really, it was a correct decision to let the Sword of Oath of Victory and the Sword of Deviation show their abilities. Otherwise, it might not be as simple as being an undercover agent. I don't know. Does Tashigi know about this? According to Tashigi's personality, he should not be good at undercover work. That is to say, plan to follow me all the time. And no wonder Smoker let Tashigi on my boat so easily. It turned out to be the reason. Forget it. Since Marine is willing to send someone over, I'll use it as my own actor. Momosaji Guillaume. Such a character should be able to play many roles. If it weren't for Demon Slayer, Blade 1, many roles have already been decided. Lee Fan really planned to let Guillaume try out more important roles. Lee Fan, this is here. After walking for a while, Nua Kigeo stopped. Is this location suitable for you to show movies? Lee Fan turned his head to look around and said, although it is still a bit small, it is barely suitable. Nua Kigeo, please go and talk to those villagers who held the banquet. If you're going to watch a movie, come here. Of course, don't forget to tell them that they need to pay me 1,000 berry. Although it is not in the screening period, you can't get box office points, but at least you can get some money. Understood, Director Lee Fan. Nua Kigeo smiled slightly, turned around, and went to work on what Lee Fan explained. Well, Director Lee Fan, is there anything I can do for you? Guillaume said with a smile. No need, just watch. After Lee Fan answered, his thoughts sank into his mind. System, help me take out my projection tool. Following Lee Fan's voice, a huge projection screen and other auxiliary tools suddenly appeared in the empty venue. Seeing the sudden appearance of a large number of items, Guillaume showed a surprised expression. Director Lee Fan also has the ability to take out projection tools out of thin air. It's just a small ability. Lee Fan shook his head. After all, it's not a regular movie theater, and the conditions are relatively simple. When you watch it later, Guion, you can make do with it. I'm happy to see that one movie and nothing else matters. On the other hand, after learning that Li Fan was going to screen a film in the village square, the villagers showed great interest and came to the village square with benches. All of a sudden, the square and the whole village was packed to the brim. Seeing that everyone was almost here, Li Fan manipulated the equipment and started the movie screening. The next day, when a nearby Marine came to Kokoja village to pick up Marine under Colonel Mouse, Li Fan started the official shooting of Ghost Slayer, Blade 1. I have to say that after coming to Kokoja village, Li Fan felt that the scenery of Kokoja village was more suitable for filming Ghost Slayer, Blade 1 than Logtown. The buildings in Logtown are more modern, while the buildings in Kokoja village are more village style. In addition, enough group performers were summoned from Kokoja village, and Li Fan, who couldn't wait, started filming immediately. Seeing Tashigi and the others who were discussing the script together, Li Fan walked over with a smile. "How are you? Are you ready, Tashigi, Nami, no Kigo?" "Don't worry, Li Fan. I'm fully prepared for the 5 million reward." Nami made an okay gesture with a confident face. "I'm ready too. Don't worry, Director Li Fan." Nuo Kigeo, who was dressed in a housewife and showed an extremely gentle smile, said with a smile. "However, Li Fan, you seem to need some encouragement for Tashigi." Hearing this, Li Fan looked at Tashigi on the side. At this moment, Tashigi was obviously a little nervous. "What's the matter, Tashigi? Aren't you ready yet?" "Well, Li Fan, I haven't learned water breathing yet. Do I really want to start shooting now?" Tashigi raised his head and looked at Li Fan worriedly. "So you're worried about this?" Li Fan smiled. The scene being filmed now is the scene where Zaman Tanjiro bids farewell to his family and goes to the town to sell charcoal. The most important thing is to express the warmth and friendship of Tanjiro's family, and it will not involve swordsmanship. So you can rest assured, as long as you act according to the skills I explained to you before, that's enough. As for the practice of water breathing, you can practice alone when you're filming other people's scenes. Look at that Zoro guy, now that he doesn't have a part in the show. Isn't he just practicing hard? What's more, you have already mastered the technique of water breathing a little, so there's nothing to worry about. And haven't I been guiding you all the time? You have worked very hard. I believe you'll be able to do well, right, Tashigi? Hearing Li Fan's encouragement, Tashigi cheered up slightly. "Li Fan, thank you. I will work hard." "That's right." Li Fan patted Tashigi's shoulder and then stepped back not far away. "Then, prepare for each unit. Ghost Slayer, Blade 1. First shot, first time, start." Chapter 47, Too Cruel Plot with the voice of Li Fan. Tashigi and others immediately entered the state and started their own performances. Nami and Nokigao are family members. Although they are sisters in reality, as Nami's older sister, Nokigao has no pressure to play Nami's older sister. The affection between them is very natural. Tashigi, because he and Nami are already friends and they have cooperated once, so the cooperation is not bad. To Li Fan's surprise, he found extras playing Tanjiro's other brothers and sisters in Kokosha village. When they played the roles, they were very natural and did not give people a feeling of artificiality. It's a good start. It looks like this drama can be completed very smoothly. Card. A few minutes later, Li Fan declared the end of the first shot with satisfaction. "Very good. Everyone's performance is very good. I hope everyone will continue to work hard. In addition, in order to save time, let's skip the plot where Tanjiro goes to sell charcoal in the town and shoot the scene where Tanjiro returns home and finds that his family members have been killed and Nezuko has been turned into a ghost." As he spoke, Li Fan looked toward the neutral-looking actress who played Yoshiyuki Tomioka not far away. "You also prepare. You will appear on the stage after a while." The actor nodded in understanding. "So soon? Am I going to leave the stage?" Nuo Kigeo came over with some regret. "By the way, Li Fan, your script is too cruel. It was such a warm family, but in the end, only Nezuko and Tanjiro were left to depend on each other." "Yeah, and the Nezuko I played was turned into a ghost, and I couldn't even say a word to my brother after that." Nami also looked resentful. "I don't know why you would want to shoot such a cruel scene." Script. Well, the script is like this, and I'm helpless too. Li Fan spread his hands and looked helpless. Can't you change it, Li Fan? At least let me have more roles. Nuo Kigeo took Li Fan's hand, smiling coquettishly. I suspect that you want to rule me out, but fortunately, I am determined. Li Fan said with a serious face. Compared to this, you should act well in this drama first. When there is a suitable role in the future, I will consider you of. Also, isn't your current character still existing as a soul? Let's act first. Nuo Kigeo shook his head. Really, Director Li Fan is really strict. Even if it is strict, I want to be able to shoot the scene well. Li Fan withdrew his hand from Nuo Kigeo's arms. Okay, get ready, I'm going to shoot the next scene. Hearing what Li Fan said, Nuo Kigeo stepped back and prepared to shoot the next scene. Li Fan, if you look at it this way, you are indeed a real filmmaker. It's just a pity that there are no extraordinary powers and props in this script, and Li Fan's roles are very few, so it is impossible to observe whether he has extremely powerful props. On the side, Guion, who had been silently observing Li Fan, sighed slightly. It seems that it is not something that can be done in a short time to determine whether the Sword of Oath of Victory and the Sword of Deviation possessed by this guy have the same ability as in the play. If he doesn't shoot the sequel of Fate Stay Night, it should be very difficult to see him take out the Sword of Vowed Victory and the Sword of Deviation again. Thinking of yesterday after watching the movie Fate Stay Night, I approached Li Fan and asked if I could see the Sword of Vowed Victory in Li Fan's hand on the grounds that I liked the Sword of Vowed Victory very much. Li Fan gave a clear refusal. Guion sighed again. Perhaps this undercover mission will last for quite some time. Li Fan naturally noticed the gaze from Guion, but Li Fan didn't pay much attention to it. First, Li Fan himself did not offend Marine. On the other hand, Li Fan believes that although Marine will send people to him, but did not choose to do it directly, it means that they have no intention of fighting against him now. However, Li Fan naturally still has some nervousness. Although he is confident in his current strength, Li Fan doesn't think he can beat Marine. Therefore, in the face of being noticed by Marine, Li Fan has a more urgent mood to improve his strength. Now Marine is undercover. Who knows if the world government will send someone to trouble him in the future? For the people of the world government, Li Fan doesn't think they will get along with him gently. If he really has the Sword of Vowed Victory, Li Fan may be able to deal with the world government. But the problem is that Li Fan can't take out the Sword of Vowed Victory now. Even if it can be projected, it will consume too much for Li Fan. Li Fan fully believes that after projecting and using the Sword of Oath of Victory, he will fall into an extremely passive situation. This is not what Li Fan wants. This is also the reason why Li Fan was so eager to shoot Ghost Slayer, Blade 1. After the filming of this movie is finished, Li Fan plans to enter the Grand Line as soon as possible and go to the relatively nearby Big Country Alabasta. Li Fan still clearly remembers that Alabasta has a population of tens of millions. He believes that there, he can save enough box office points faster to buy golden scripts, so as to have the opportunity to obtain more powerful abilities. In such a mood soon, the second shot also ended. While Li Fan was satisfied, he didn't stop and started the next shot directly. In this way, the movie was shot at an extremely fast speed. Chapter 48. The conversation between Crane and Guion a few nights later in a quiet room. Momosaji Guion was talking to Vice Admiral, Marine Chief Staff Officer, who was far away in Naval Headquarters. Guion, you have been with Li Fan for a few days. Have you discovered anything new? Or has Li Fan displayed any other abilities worthy of attention? Sorry, sister. I haven't gotten any useful information yet, Guion said apologetically. Because I played a small role in Li Fan's crew, I was able to see this script called Ghost Slayer, Blade 1. The forces involved in this play are not as special as the previous play. There are not many special powers involved in the play, and the most common one is swordsmanship. What Li Fan shows is only related to the swordsmanship in the play, and there are no special things like treasures in the previous play. Crane nodded. Then, Li Fan is still tight-lipped about the Deviation Sword and the Sword of Promised Victory. Yes, sister. Regarding these two swords, Li Fan is not willing to talk too much. He just told me that if he shoots a script related to Fate Stay Night in the future, he will use that kind of sword. That's it. It seems that you have to work hard to stay there for a while. It's okay, sister, I'm ready. The corner of Guillaume's mouth curled up. However, although I didn't see Li Fan take out the sword of vowed victory and the sword of deviation, but about the Medusa who appeared later, I made a new discovery. Li Fan once sparred with Medusa in her spare time. At that time, the skills shown by Medusa were indeed very similar to those shown in the movie. And among them, the most noteworthy thing is that Medusa actually summoned the pure white Pegasus. After summoning Pegasus, Medusa's power directly rose to a higher level. Because of the training of Li Fan and Medusa, a coast was directly smashed to pieces. Leaving aside Li Fan, when he and Medusa practiced against each other, they mostly defended. But Medusa, the one who summoned Pegasus, might not be her match. Hearing Guillaume's words, Zoro was slightly surprised. As a person who often gets along with Guillaume, Crane is very clear of Guillaume's character. Strong, unyielding, and now, being able to make Guillaume say such words shows that Guillaume really recognizes Medusa's strength. Are you sure about this, Guillaume? How did you decide that your strength is inferior to Medusa when you haven't fought against Medusa? Guillaume raised his head, recalling the scene when Li Fan and Medusa sparred. Its speed, sister. Medusa's agility is already very agile, but after riding the Pegasus, her agility has risen to a terrifying level. You know, sister, what I'm most proud of is my speed. However, I found that my speed has no advantage in front of Medusa, whether it's movement speed or attack speed. In addition, judging by the strong wind generated by Li Fan and Li Fan when they practiced against each other, both of them are very strong. Guillaume's words made Zoro uncontrollably pace the room. Before, Gar commented that Li Fan's strength is no less than yours, but now Li Fan has an extra Medusa. Such a combination is indeed worth noting. Unfortunately, that Li Fan is not willing to join Marine. He said helplessly. Although he is unwilling to join Marine, he is doing something beneficial to Marine. Guillaume said with a chuckle, Li Fan needs Tashigi to show the sword skills of the characters in the play. So, I've been trying to teach Tashigi swordsmanship. Perhaps Marine can gain a great swordsman through this movie. Hearing Guillaume's words, Zoro nodded. Maybe that's the case. In short, you have worked hard for Li Fan during this time. If you have anything, remember to contact me as soon as possible. Afterwards, Guillaume chatted with Zoro about some household matters, then hung up the phone. Guillaume, who hung up the phone, was not in a hurry to rest, but took a stack of snacks and walked out to a pond in the back mountain of Kokoja village. She knew that at this point in time, Li Fan and Tashigi hadn't rested yet, and Li Fan was still helping Tashigi practice water breathing. Sure enough, when Guillaume came to the back mountain, a series of sounds of gold and iron clashing reached Guillaume's ears. As the distance drew closer, Guillaume saw Tashigi and Li Fan who were constantly attacking each other with long knives. At this moment, Tashigi was out of breath, and his clothes were wet with sweat. On the other hand, Li Fan's breath is not disturbed at all. Take a break, Tashigi. Li Fan scattered the long knife created by projection magic and looked in the direction of Guillaume. Guillaume brought something here. You should eat first. Tashigi nodded, took a deep breath, and walked over slowly. Yo, Guillaume, it's hard work for you to make a trip. These 2 days are really troublesome for you. Walking into Guillaume, Li Fan stretched out his hand to say hello. In order to leave a good impression on you, Director Li Fan, I have to do this. Guillaume smiled slightly and handed the dim sum plate in front of Li Fan. As long as Li Fan directs the next movie, just don't give me another role that plays tricks. Let's talk about it later. Li Fan took a piece of pastry and handed it to Tashigi, and then took another piece for himself. Your conditions are very good. If I meet some tall female characters in the future, I will give priority consider yours. Then thank you, Director Li Fan. Guillaume's flirtatious hair under the moonlight revealed a different kind of charm. Li Fan, tell me, can I really perform that scene tomorrow? Tashigi said, holding the snack in his hand, and instead of eating it, he asked worriedly. Tomorrow is the time to film the scene where Tanjiro participates in the selection. In the play, Tanjiro is going to use the breath of water, swordsmanship, to fight. However, I can't really learn it yet. Can I really be able to shoot like this? You're still worrying about this, Tashigi. Li Fan shook his head. Didn't I say that, with your current level, you can fully demonstrate the water-breathing sword style? Making a movie is no better than fighting in real life. Even if you don't fully learn it, it is enough. However, Zoro is already able to use the Thunder Breath sword skill. Tashigi looked up. Li Fan, do you think that a student like me is useless? How is it possible? Li Fan patted Tashigi's shoulder. Don't forget, you have only practiced for a few days, and you are already good enough to reach the current level. As for that Zoro, his talent is really good, but he was able to master Thunder Breath so quickly only because the only sword style I taught him was Thunderbolt Flash. And your water-breathing sword shape has 10 styles. Besides, what's the use of that guy learning sword skills? In the end, that guy can't play my wife Shani well until now. And that's the most troublesome thing. Having said that, Li Fan couldn't help but patted himself on the head. Chapter 49, Infinite Train. Trailer Li Fan had to admire Zoro's swordsmanship talent. In just a few days, Zoro was able to use Thunderbolt Flash in a decent way. Even Li Fan is admiring the high compatibility between Zoro and Breath of Thunder. However, when Li Fan asked Zoro to audition for my wife Shani, Zoro couldn't reach the status of a number 1. Even if the movement is achieved, the expression cannot reach the state of my wife Shani's fear of ghosts and terror. Obviously, the moment when my wife Shani will appear on the stage is about to arrive. For Li Fan, who wants to finish filming this movie quickly, this is an extremely entangled matter. Mr. Zoro is a pure swordsman with a firm will. It's really embarrassing for him to play this role. On the side, Guion said with a smile on his face. Actually, if director Li Fan is in a hurry to finish the film, he can let other actors play my wife Shani. And when my wife Shani enters a fighting state, let Zoro play the role. What do you think, director Li Fan? For Guion, I also look forward to Li Fan's ability to finish this movie as soon as possible. After all, this movie does not involve the special powers and props that I want to see. Hearing this, Li Fan bowed his head and thought, maybe I'm too obsessed with having that Zoro guy play my wife Zini. Let's see tomorrow. If Zoro still can't enter the state, let other actors play my wife Shani in normal state, and let Zoro play my wife Shani in battle. The problem of different roles, as long as it is handled with makeup and shooting angles, it will be fine. Li Fan shook his head, finished his snack, and looked at Tashigi. Okay, Tashigi, don't be dazed. It's going to be early in the morning. After eating the snacks, I will train with you for an hour, and then I will take a good rest. I will shoot a new shot tomorrow morning. Yeah. Tashigi nodded, quickly finished the snack in his hand, and regained some energy. Come on, Li Fan, let's continue. The next day, the sun came up. Li Fan got up early as usual and came to the shooting location. Like Li Fan, the actors also got up extra early and arrived at the shooting location. Except Zoro. Huh, where's Zoro? Li Fan frowned and looked at the other actors. I didn't see it. Did I go to the bathroom? Did that swordsman oversleep? The actors shook their heads. This guy must be lost. Li Fan twitched the corner of his mouth. I should have specially arranged someone to lead him the way. Forget it. You all prepare separately and find out how you feel. I'll go and see how he's doing. Putting down the tools in his hand, Li Fan quickly ran to the room where Zoro lived. At this moment, in Zoro's room, Zoro is having a heated discussion with an actor. Hey, let me ask you, go talk to Li Fan. Let you play my wife Shani. Looking at the actor who is somewhat similar to himself, Zoro begged. Since you can play my wife Shani so well, it would be a pity not to play this role. Because he still couldn't find the feeling of playing my wife Shani, Zoro asked the actor who led the way for him to teach him. Unexpectedly, when this actor was instructing Zoro's skills, he actually perfectly performed my wife Shani style. And this also gave Zoro the idea of letting him play my wife Shani. No, your role was appointed by the director. Although I also want to play this role, I can't deny the director's decision. Also, it's already very late. Let's set off quickly. Don't make director Li Fan wait in a hurry. The actor shook his head hastily, rejecting Zoro. For him, why not want to play a main role? Hey, think about it. I'll tell Lee Fan about this matter. I believe he will agree. Zoro grabbed the actor's clothes. He wants to make a good movie so much, so he will definitely agree. What do you want to tell me? Suddenly, Lee Fan's voice came from outside the door. The two turned their heads and found that Lee Fan was crossing his arms and looking at them impatiently. Well, director, I'm sorry. We were late for a reason. The actor quickly explained. The reason for this is me, Lee Fan. Zoro walked over and slowly explained his thoughts to Lee Fan. This is really, it looks like, I really made things difficult for you. Lee Fan patted his forehead. After all, you are not a real actor, so it is too difficult for you to break through your character. Forget it. I don't have that much time to wait for you to meet the standard. About your request, I agreed. Originally, I also thought that if you couldn't play well today, I would choose someone else to play my wife, Shawnee. However, don't think about getting so much reward this time, Zoro. Also, after learning my swordsmanship, at least give me some strength when playing the role of my sleeping wife, Zini. Although he was canceled, Zoro did smile happily. For him, playing the role of my wife, Shawnee, is far from as easy as challenging a powerful swordsman. After experiencing this little disturbance, today's scene started shooting smoothly. With everyone's efforts, the filming of the movie came to a close soon. Lee Fan stood in the center of the actors, looking at everyone happily. This time, it's faster than the last time, but the level of performance hasn't weakened in the slightest. Here, I want to thank everyone. As soon as Lee Fan finished speaking, everyone immediately clapped their hands. Everyone be quiet first. Lee Fan lowered his hands. Although this Ghost Slayer, Blade 1, is finished, but for the future sequel, I hope everyone will cooperate with me to play a trailer. This trailer will be played at the end of the movie. It can be regarded as an in advance. Hearing Lee Fan's words, the actors immediately agreed. Director, you said to shoot. Let's shoot. Yeah, thinking about the sequel, I really can't wait. I don't know what the follow-up plot will be. Will I see the cute Nezuko transform back into a human being? Director, why don't you send us the follow-up script first? Let's have a look. After this period of filming, even the actors were deeply attracted by the plot of Ghost Slayer, Blade. They're eager to know the follow-up plot. As for the follow-up plot, I'll tell you when it's time to shoot. Lee Fan raised the corners of his mouth. What I can tell you is that in the next movie, The Purgatory Xingqiang, I will play lots of scenes. Okay, everyone, come here first. Let me tell you how to shoot the trailer for this drama. The excited actors will not know that there will be great sadness in the following Infinite Train chapter. However, Lee Fan is not going to tell them now. Soon, under the arrangement of Lee Fan, the preview of Infinity Train was filmed. The second movie also officially ushered in the end. Chapter 50 Nami and the Village's Farewell, great. There are new movies to watch. Yeah, after watching Lee Fan's first movie last time, I was wondering when I'd be able to see his second movie, and I didn't expect to see it again so soon. Quiet and quiet. The movie time is about to start. You see, director Lee Fan and Nami are already ahead. The villagers talked a lot, both excited and looking forward to it. Lee Fan, are you really planning to leave later? Beside Lee Fan, Nuo Kigeo asked reluctantly. Yeah, Lee Fan nodded. This island is too small after all. I want to go to a place with more people to show the movie. After everyone here enjoys this movie, I should leave here. I want more people to see my movies. After listening to Lee Fan's words, Nuo Kigeo sighed. Yes, you are always a person with dreams, and it's normal that you won't be able to stay here for long. I also hope that I can continue to be an actor where you are in the future. I never knew that being an actor is such a pleasant thing. What does it matter? Nami took Nuo Kigeo's hand, Nuo Kigeo, and we leave together. Isn't that all right? As long as you can also be the actor of Lee Fan, then Nuo Kigeo and I can spend more time together. It's a pleasure to think about. Nami's words made Lee Fan nod repeatedly. Nami is right. If Nuo Kigeo is willing, he can go to sea with us. With you here, Nami won't be so lonely. Even without me, I believe Nami will not be lonely. Nuo Kigeo smiled. After all, Nami has a lot of friends by her side. But leaving Kokoja village? I haven't considered this option before. Maybe it's good to go outside and see more. Then it's decided. Lee Fan held out his hand to Nuo Kigeo. I hope we can cooperate happily in the future. Nuo Kigeo smiled slightly. reached out and took Li Fan's hand. Soon, it was time for the official screening. The large screen began to have pictures, and the excited crowd slowly quieted down, immersed in the story of the movie. As Li Fan said, the island where Kokoja village is located is indeed too small. Even including the other villages on the island, the population is no more than 2,000 people. For Li Fan, who wants to gain enough box office points, this is obviously not enough. Therefore, Li Fan has already made a decision before. After the new movie is screened in Kokoja village, he will return to Logtown to screen Ghost Slayer, Blade One. Although there will be a few days of delay on the road, after arriving in Logtown, arranging one more screening every day will ensure that all townspeople in Logtown can see the movie during the 10-day screening period. At that time, Li Fan will be able to save enough box office points to buy the next script. Time passed slowly, and soon, the premiere of Demon Slayer, Blade One, was over. Li Fan received a total of 2,013 box office points. As for money, Li Fan won a total of 4,013,000 berry with the addition of Fate Stay Night, screened earlier. After deducting the salaries of the various actors, Li Fan still has 42 million berry left. Of course, this is also thanks to the 20 million bounty on Arlong. After some preparations, Li Fan brought a group of people to the shore, ready to go to Logtown. By the way, no, Kigeo, where's Nami? Li Fan looked around on the boat, but he couldn't find Nami. So he walked up to Nuo Kigeo and asked, "Allah, is Director Li Fan worried that Nami won't be on your boat?" Nuo Kigeo smiled. Hee, this possibility is impossible. Li Fan waved his hand. That greedy cat will not give up my chance to make money here. You know Nami very well. She is saying goodbye to our mother. According to the time, it should be here soon. Nuo Kigeo said with a smile, then turned to look in the direction of the village. Look, Nami is there. Li Fan followed Nuo Kigeo's gaze and saw Nami. Li Fan, let's go. Nami shouted in the distance. Hee, are you here? Li Fan shook his head, looked at the crew behind him. Let's sail, everyone. But Nami, don't worry, she'll be on board. Hearing what Li Fan said, the crew could only believe it and hoisted the sails. On the other side, Nami took a step forward and ran quickly to the shore. His figure constantly shuttled among the villagers of Kokoja village. Finally, on reaching the shore, a leap leaped towards the boat. Li Fan reached out and caught Nami's body, and, at the same time, took the wallet she stole from the villagers. Greedy cat, is this how you bid farewell to the villagers? Li Fan asked with a smile, holding up the wallet in his hand. Hee, don't you think this way of saying goodbye is very suitable for me? Nami smiled, took the wallet and looked at the villagers on the shore. Everyone, thank you for your money. I will use it well. Damn, when my money? Nami, you thief. I didn't notice it at all, but be happy, Nami. Bon trip. If you feel tired of life outside, you can return to Kokoja village at any time. The village names shouted, not at all angry that Nami stole their wallets. Everyone cares about you, Nami. Li Fan put his hand on Nami's shoulder. Well, everyone in the village is the best. Nami nodded heavily and then waved goodbye to the villagers. Chapter 51, Encountering the Krieg Pirates on the Endless Sea. A huge sailing ship with 3 decks is sailing slowly. Although the sailboat was large, it was seriously damaged, as if it had encountered an increased wind and waves. On the sail, the flag of the skull represents the identity of the pirate ship. On the deck, many pirates lay weakly on the ground. Damn it, that damned swordsman actually destroyed almost all my ships. A tall man in golden armor came out of the cabin. His eyes were resentful, but he was full of fear for the swordsman he was talking about. Krieg, the overlord of the East Blue, offers a bounty of 17 million berries pirates. Not long ago, he went to the Grand Line, but after encountering the great swordsman of the First World, Krieg fled back to East Blue. Ajin, haven't you reached the land yet? My stomach is about to starve to death. Krieg looked at the battle captain beside him, Ajin, and his tone was full of complaints. Persevere, Captain. Ajin supported Krieg. There is White Hunter Smoker Station in Logtown. We can't land there. Now, we can only sail forward. I believe that we will find an island in a short time. When the time comes, we'll have enough to eat. That's what you said before. Krieg shook off Ajin's arm. I need food now. Ajin, I will give you a small boat. You go out to explore the way, and after you find the food, come back and tell me. This, all right. Faced with Krieg's order, Ajin chose to obey. Captain, there's a ship over there. Suddenly, the voice of a crew member entered Krieg's mind. Boats. Krieg looked over immediately. With ships, there's food. Little ones, lean over to me. Yes, Captain, the pirates shouted excitedly. Because they were hunted down by Hawkeye and Mihawk, the pirates of the Krieg pirates had not had a full meal for a long time in order to escape. The food stored on the boat has long been eaten up. These days, it is all eaten by fish caught. Even so, there are always times when it is not enough. The ship targeted by the Krieg pirates is Li Fan's ship, which is sailing towards Logtown. Of course, Li Fan also saw the huge pirate ship of the Krieg pirates. The Skull Flag is a pirate ship. Looking at their appearance, they are coming towards me. Li Fan touched his chin. Does this count as food delivery for me? As he spoke, Li Fan looked at Tashiji, who was stopped by him from training. Tashiji, that ship over there, can you tell which pirate group it belongs to? There's an hourglass on each side of the skull on the flag. Li Fan, this is the ship of the Krieg pirates. The captain of the pirate group is Krieg, the overlord of East Blue, who offered a bounty of 17 million berry. However, I heard that they went to the Grand Line before, but I didn't expect to see their ships in East Blue. Tashiji replied quickly. I must have encountered some setbacks on the Grand Line, so I escaped back. Li Fan made a lazy waste. By the way, Tashiji, I will show you the pirates on the ship later to practice your skills. However, Krieg's head is mine. Understood. Tashiji, who had already experienced it once, shook his head helplessly. Li Fan, you, like Nami, are very fond of berry. It's different. Nami just likes money. I make money to pay you guys. Li Fan said earnestly. Tashiji, you earn more than 20 million berry from me in these two scenes. It really hurts my heart when you say that about me. Think about your monthly salary as a Marine. Is your conscience okay? Okay, I get it. Don't say any more, Li Fan. Tashiji, who was blushing a little from Li Fan's words, waved quickly. The pirate ship is approaching. I'll deal with them first. As soon as the voice fell, Tashiji jumped towards the ship of the Krieg pirates. Li Fan spread his hands and also jumped over. Seeing Li Fan and Tashiji jumping over, all the pirates were taken aback. Under normal circumstances, ships at sea will choose to flee when they see them. Now seeing that someone took the initiative to approach their pirate ship, the pirates were obviously a little dazed. Did you come up on your own initiative? Krieg walked over. Forget it, these things don't matter. Little ones, kill them. Oh, the surrounding pirates yelled, cheered up, and rushed towards Tashiji and Li Fan. Tashiji took a deep breath. The breath of water, the three forms flowing and dancing. Tashiji's body moved at high speed like a stream of water and quickly penetrated the figures of several pirates who surrounded him. In less than a moment of breathing, these pirates spurted blood from their bodies and fell to the deck. Watching, Krieg was taken aback, looking at Tashiji in surprise. On the other hand, Tashiji didn't feel happy at all. She frowned and looked at the long knife in her hand. Is this still to such an extent? It's still fighting, don't think so much. Li Fan walked over to Tashiji and patted her on the back. Seeing Li Fan walking towards Krieg, Tashiji cheered up and ran towards the other pirates. Chapter 52. Hawkeye Mihawk appears. Damn it. You two guys dare to kill our partner. Kill you. Don't even think about going back alive. Seeing that his companion was killed by Tashiji, several pirates attacked again. However, because of the long-term hunger and the gap in strength, they were cut by Tashiji's sword before they could get close. Ajin, the battle captain on the side, frowned, took out his weapon, ran over quickly, and threw his walking stick at Tashiji. Ding! The crutches were stopped by Tashiji's long knife and could not cause any damage to Tashiji. Afterwards, Tashiji slashed his long knife across Ajin's walking stick and cut towards his abdomen. Ajin's eyes were fixed, and he quickly backed away, but Tashiji's knife still scratched a little skin. You guys, who are you guys? Ajin frowned. Just from the touch just now, he judged that Tashiji's strength was not weaker than him. In normal times, Ajin would not be afraid, but now that he is in a weak stage, it is hard to say that he can beat Tashigi. Not to mention there's a man on the side. Facing like this, Ajin looked at Li Fan. Huh? Where are people? The place where Li Fan used to be is long gone. Are you looking for me, pirate? Li Fan, who moved quickly behind Ajin with his own speed, patted him on the shoulder. When? Ajin's eyes widened, and he was about to turn around and attack Li Fan. But the next moment his head was already in contact with the hard deck. Boom! With the strong impact and prolonged hunger, Ajin rolled his eyes and passed out. What? How could this be? Seeing Ajin, who was defeated in an instant, the pirates who were about to attack just now were stunned and stopped their steps. Yo, Li Fan, Tashigi, do you need help? At this time, Zoro also finished his exercise and jumped on the pirate ship. Do you think we need help? Li Fan spread his hands. There are weak and shameless pirates here. If you want to come and fight, then you may be disappointed. Hearing Li Fan's words, Krieg, who had always been gloomy, finally broke out. UBD, who are you calling a weak pirate? I'm Krieg, the overlord of the East Blue. How dare you underestimate me? Krieg took out his own gas bomb and aimed it at Li Fan, but before he fired it, Li Fan suddenly disappeared in front of his eyes. It's too slow. Is this the strength of the East Blue, Overlord? It's ridiculous. Li Fan, who appeared in the air above Krieg, said leisurely, and then kicked him on the forehead. In an instant, Krieg followed in Akin's footsteps. What? Captain Krieg was also knocked down by a single blow. Who the hell is this guy? Damn it, I just met that swordsman with eagle eyes before, and now I meet such a strong person again. Should we really perish? The pirates looked flustered and completely lost the will to resist. Huh, you just said the eagle-eyed swordsman, right? Suddenly, Zoro came to the side of the talking pirate. Where's the swordsman you mentioned? Wait, you. What are you going to do? The pirate raised by Zoro widened his eyes. Hawkeye swordsman. Is it the world's #1 swordsman, Hawkeye Mihawk? Tashigi frowned. Zoro, do you know that guy? Zoro shook his head. I don't know, but the reason why I went to sea is to find that guy. I want to defeat that guy and become the world's #1 swordsman. The world's greatest swordsman? Tashigi looked at Zoro in surprise. You actually have such a purpose. Huh. Suddenly, a sharp breath broke into Li Fan's perception. Be careful. Li Fan quickly pulled Tashigi behind him. At the same time, his right hand projected a long sword cross in front of him. Laugh. Just after doing all this, a green sword energy suddenly sliced through the pirate ship and hit Li Fan's long sword. This is... Tashigi and Zoro's eyes widened as they got closer. Really? Don't wave your sword energy casually. Li Fan pouted. Didn't you see my ship behind the pirate ship? Li Fan increased his strength and raised his long sword sharply. Under the traction of Li Fan's power, the green sword energy flew straight into the sky, creating a gust of wind. Yes, it's that guy, damn it, that guy actually came after him. The pirate caught by Zoro yelled in horror, and then fainted from fright. Hawkeye, is he here? Zoro looked solemnly, looking in the direction of the sword energy. In the distance, a raft slowly drifted towards the direction of the pirate ship. On the raft, Mihawk, the world's #1 swordsman, saw his sword energy thrown into the air before he fully retracted his black knife. Huh, on that pirate ship, is there anyone who can resist my sword energy? Interesting, seems to be able to find some fun. Mihawk raised the black knife and slashed downwards. A 10-meter-long sword key rushed towards Li Fan. Chapter 53, compete with Mihawk TSK, this guy come back. Li Fan smacked his mouth, stepped forward with his right foot, and the stern of the boat was split in an instant. Lifting the sword, swinging it out, all done in one go. Under Li Fan's magical arm strength, Mihawk's slash instantly shattered. It's rude to come and not to go. You often do this trick of mine. Projection, start. The longbow and fake spiral sword appeared in Li Fan's hands, and then Li Fan drew the bow and shot the arrow without hesitation. The false spiral sword turned into a crimson flash and quickly attacked Mihawk. Is that the guy? Mihawk's eyes locked on Li Fan accurately, using both a sword and a bow. Isn't it a pure swordsman? Mihawk raised his hand and casually slashed out a stream of sword energy to attack the pseudo-spiral sword. The moment the sword key came into contact with a fake spiral sword, a huge explosion happened suddenly. A series of huge waves were formed by the explosion, rushing towards all directions. Not an ordinary bow, an arrow. Mihawk frowned and swung forward with both hands. The sword energy formed a gust of wind and crushed the waves that rolled past. Interesting guy, but he probably isn't from that pirate group. So, is it someone who had a conflict with this pirate group? As the Krieg pirate's ship breaks apart, Mihawk discovers the shadowy ship behind the pirate ship. The central Mihawk put away his black knife and quickly approached Li Fan's boat on the raft. On Li Fan's side, after seeing that Mihawk did not continue to attack, he retreated. Let's go to Shiji and Zoro. This pirate ship is going to be broken. Go back to our ship first. Li Fan, what about these pirates? Tashigi asked hastily. Of course I feed the fish. As a pirate, if you don't even have this awareness, what kind of pirate are you? Li Fan shrugged. Anyway, you know that after I kill them, I can also get them. There's a bounty, but we can put them in Marine's prison. It's up to you. Li Fan waved his hand and walked towards his own boat. If you want to take care of them, then I'll leave them to you. Tashigi nodded and looked at the pirates beside him. All pirates, if you still want to survive, take your captain and go to the next ship first. After that, I will hand you over to the Marine in Low Town. I hope you can be honest. One side is to survive, and the other side is to be imprisoned. The pirates made their choice immediately and were transferred to Li Fan's ship under Tashigi's command, and then placed in an empty cabin. In order to prevent the pirates from doing bad things, Tashigi personally watches them outside the cabin. Hey, Li Fan, that man over there seems scary. Are we really going to sail in his direction? Nami quietly came to Li Fan's side. Nami himself saw the slash just now. It was a sword aura comparable to the height of the ship. Nami said he was not afraid. That was a lie. Logue Town is in that direction. There is no need for us to change course. Li Fan shook his head. Besides, believe it or not, if we turn the bow now, that guy will definitely swing his sword again. Under the eagle eye held by Li Fan, he clearly saw that Mihawk's eyes had locked him firmly. Ah, really? Why did you shoot that arrow just now? Now it's all right. I offended him completely. Nami put his head in his hands, with a frustrated expression on his face. Hey, it sounds like I deliberately offended him. He was the one who did it first. Li Fan shook his head, and even if I want to avoid this guy, Zoro won't agree. Li Fan raised his thumb and pointed to Zoro, who was staring at the approaching Mihawk. That guy is what Zoro is looking for at sea, and it is simply impossible to stop him at this time. Nami looked in Zoro's direction, and sure enough, he saw Zoro staring at the raft that was already very close. Ah, what a bunch of idiots. Why are you going to provoke a monster? The #1 swordsman in the world, such a character is quite powerful just by listening. Just now, Nami learned what kind of character Mihawk is from other people. Because of this, Nami really wants to avoid Mihawk. However, she obviously also knew that she had no way to change Li Fan's decision. Please, Li Fan, you must be better than Mihawk. I don't want to just go out to sea with you and die in the bottom of the sea. Nami held Li Fan's hand and said with a pitiful face, Don't worry, Nami. You are so cute. The fish won't wait until you fall to the bottom of the sea. Li Fan gave Nami a thumbs up. Believe me, before you fall to the bottom of the sea, you will definitely be caught. The fish are devouring it all. Oh, is this the time to say something like that? Nami looked at Li Fan with resentment. The relationship between the two of you is really good, but the man you are talking about has already boarded our ship. Kigeo walked up to Li Fan and Nami, pointed and stood on the ship head of Hawkeye and Mihawk. Chapter 54, Medusa versus Hawkeye, Mihawk, the world's #1 swordsman. Seeing Mihawk walking slowly towards this side, Li Fan's eyes gradually became serious. However, before Li Fan could speak, Zoro, who had been waiting impatiently for a long time, walked over. Hawkeye Mihawk, as a swordsman, I challenge you. Mihawk gave Zoro a disdainful look with his eagle eyes. People who don't know the heights of the sky and the depths of the earth, if you're also a swordsman, you should clearly see the gap between you and me. I don't have time to talk to you right now. What I'm looking for is the guy who resisted my slash just now. Saying that, Mihawk ignored Zoro and continued to walk towards Li Fan. Brush! Zoro drew out the long knife at his waist and blocked Mihawk's path. I'm sorry, but I'm very persistent. I won't back down until you agree to a duel with me. Saga. Mihawk looked at Zoro. Okay, before finding the right owner, let's meet your request first. Mihawk took off his own necklace and pulled a tiny dagger from the cross necklace and pointed it at Zoro. Sorry, I don't have any smaller knives anymore, so I'll use this one against you. You have to limit your underestimation of people. Zoro gritted his teeth and quickly put on a three-sword stance and stormed towards Mihawk. Ding, ding, ding. A series of clashing sounds of gold and iron came out. Although Zoro's every attack is extremely fast, it can't break through the defense of the dagger in Mihawk's hand anyway. It's amazing to block that three-sword attack with just a short sword. Nami's eyes widened. Sure enough, the world's #1 swordsman is a monster. You say that others are monsters. Be careful that others cut you, Nami. Li Fan said. Hearing this, Nami was taken aback. Well, Li Fan, you'll protect me. Hey, who told you that you were my actor? Don't submit to the Li Fan who are talking. Zoro, who was fighting, was completely in shock. Damn it, how could this gap be so big? After another attack, Zoro was stabbed in the chest by Mihawk's dagger. Huh, boy, why don't you dodge? Mihawk asked. I don't know, I just feel that if I escape, I will lose what I've been holding on to. Interesting. Mihawk withdrew his dagger and pulled out the black knife behind him. Boy, you are a good swordsman. In this case, I will respond to you with the etiquette of a swordsman. I'm really grateful. Seeing Mihawk pull out his black knife, Zoro took a few steps back with a smile on his face. Although in the future, let's decide the outcome with this move. Rhythmic breathing came from Zoro's mouth. The air around his body began to tremble faintly. It seems interesting. Mihawk narrowed his eyes slightly and opened the black knife in his hand backwards. Three-sword style, breath of thunder, ghost slash with a flash of thunder. Zoro's speed was pushed to the limit, and the distance between him and Mihawk was suddenly shortened, and the three knives cut towards Mihawk from different angles. In response, Mihawk lightly waved the black knife. The next moment, the bodies of the two crossed each other. Crunch except for the Hadao words in Zoro's mouth. The two knives in his hand broke abruptly. Sure enough, did you lose? Zoro shook his head and put the word Hadao back into the sheath. Turn around and face Mihawk with open arms. Mihawk, what do you mean? The sword wound behind him is a disgrace to a swordsman. Zoro grinned. That's right. Hawkeye's mouth parted and he smiled, raising his black knife and slashing across Zoro's body. Zoro was killed. Nami clasped Li Fan's arms tightly with both hands. Li Fan, what should we do? Zoro is dead. We should. Okay, Nami, stop shaking. Li Fan patted Nami's head. Zoro is not dead yet. Hey, there are medical skills over there. Go prepare to heal Zoro.
No more novels? Take part in the voting. The most requested novels and those with the most likes will be chosen for publication on euroaudiobooks.com. There, I can upload as much as I want without the risk of receiving a strike. Our 18 novels and other content that exceed what is morally acceptable are only published on Patreon or the free novels page. Remember, the site is funded by donations on Ko-fi and Patreon memberships.